Of cars in the UK. More than 1 million cars have been manufactured so far this year. John T. Bloom reports.
More than 140,000 cars were manufactured in the UK last month, an increase of almost 10% on September last year. The sharp rise in car production has been helped by both strong domestic demand and by an increase in exports. It means that well over 1 million cars have been produced in the UK so far this year. That's well ahead of output in 2012. There's also been a sharp rise in engine production, much of which is for export, although the production of commercial vehicles such as vans and lorries is down.
A company from Bedford has come up with a new phone app to keep passengers safe at night when using a taxi. Travel Safer allows the user to check into a vehicle by entering the car registration number and then tracks the route of the taxi via social media. All profits made from the app by Pacific Data will go to rape victim charities in the Bedford area. Astronomers say they've discovered the most distant galaxy identified so far in our universe. The star system is about 13 billion light years away from Earth and is helping scientists to learn what happened after the Big Bang. Professor Stephen Finkelstein from the University of Texas in Austin led the study.
One very interesting way to learn about the universe is to study these outliers, things like this. And that tells us something about what kind of physical processes are dominating galaxy formation and galaxy evolution. What was great about this galaxy is not only is it so distant, it's actually pretty exceptional.
In sport, Manchester City are making an official complaint about alleged racist chanting by the Russian crowd during their Champions League tie against CSKA Moscow. They're lodging a protest with European football's governing body UEFA about the way the fans treated the midfielder Yaya Toure, who's from the Ivory Coast. The weather for Beds, Herts and Bucks will be mainly dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.
The sound you can hear there, dear listener, is my team next door getting ready to start this show. Coughs, wires being plugged in,
Iain,
tatty old leather jackets being slung on the back of seats, misplaced scarves, and attitude all being rolled out, hand gestures being made, drinks being drunk, tempers rising. That's what it takes to get this beast moving. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Lots coming up on the show this morning. We've got some cracking stuff for you, as always. Keen to get your opinion and your input on a lot of these, and I know that you will want to speak about some of these stories. So let me tell you some of the things we've got, and then I'll give you the contact details. Well, they let us down yesterday. The Bedfordshire education firm at the centre of an investigation into financial irregularities say they will definitely talk to us this morning. They will definitely talk to us this morning. The way things normally work is we have a phone number, we call them. Not today. We have no phone number, they're calling us. So we shall see. In any case, I'm sure that they'll be listening to us to see what the NUT and the Dean Doris have to say about them. So good morning to you, Barnfield. Speak to you later. Hundreds of pensioners have been tricked into investing in a bogus wine firm. They've lost £3 million between them. So someone's obviously got wise to the fact that A, pensioners are most likely to have massive savings, and B, they don't trust banks. So, if you're a pensioner with savings, where on earth do you put all that hard-earned cash these days? Is it actually under your mattress? And do you remember last week we played the audio of a group of women and a baby who were in a car? The police ordered them out of the car, they refused, the police smashed the window. Well, they should have heard from the Herts Police by now. Have they? Facebook.com/BBC3CR. Send me a text, 81333. Start your text 3CR. And give me a call, 08459 455 555.
Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I was stopped by the police this morning. Yes, I was stopped at 4:14 exactly. Drove past the police car. I thought he's going to pull me over, and he did. Flashed the lights. I was like, oh, flip it. And he said, "Good morning, sir." I went, "Hello, good morning." No, actually, I said, "Good morning, officer." "Good morning, sir." Have you just come from that road there? I said, yes, I have. He said, there's been lots of reports of car theft from that road. I went, OK, it's not me. OK, well, thanks very much for your time, sir. Away you go! That was it! That's so if you get stopped by the police and you get asked about or accused of or a crime is intimated towards you, just go, yeah, it's not me. OK, sir, thanks very much for your time. On your way. Fantastic. He was wearing a short-sleeve shirt at 4:14 on a very cold, misty morning. I'm suspicious. Now, more concerns have been raised about the operation of the Barnfield Federation in Luton. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges, free schools and academies, is being investigated by the government. Well, the National Union of Teachers believes it's trying to expand faster than it's able to afford. Mid-Bedfordshire MP Nadine Dorris raised a question about it in the House of Commons yesterday.
In Mid-Bedfordshire last year, 130 parents, teachers and staff were very disappointed when their free school application failed. That application was managed by the Barnfield Federation, which is now under investigation by the Department of Education and BIS. Would the Prime Minister please use his good offices to ensure that the failed free school application in Mid-Bedfordshire is incorporated into this inquiry?
But David Cameron defended the principle of free schools.
Obviously, we need to have a proper policy of making sure that proposals for free schools are ready to go ahead before they go ahead. But it is worth making the point that when you look at the free schools in our country, 2/3 of them have been judged to be good or outstanding, which is a higher proportion than schools within the state sector. And so I think it is worth not just continuing with this policy, but putting rocket boosters on it so we see many more free schools in our country.
Well, I'm joined on the line now by Dave Mingay, who is the Secretary of the Luton branch of the National Union of Teachers. Dave, what do you think about this investigation?
Just to correct you, I'm not the secretary. I'm a spokesperson.
Dave, listen. You were supposed to be in the studio. Don't you start correcting me, young man.
I'm sorry. We at the NUT we welcome the investigation. We've long had concerns, along with other trade unions, about the operations at Barnfield, both Barnfield as an employer and around the financing of schools and academies. Let's
look at those two things separately. In terms of an employer, what kind of things have your members said?
We have evidence of members being bullied. We have worries over the contracts, particularly at the college, where staff have been given unlimited hour contracts. Where trying to explain this, they could be given any number of hours at any time without any extra remuneration, depending on their amount of work. I believe there was a strike at the college a few years ago, and the college didn't concede, weren't prepared to negotiate. We've had members who just allegations suddenly disappear and they suddenly lose their job. Due process has not been followed all the time.
You say teachers being bullied. How has that manifested itself?
Well, as I said, it's about due process being followed, and we've had members who suddenly get told, an allegation will disappear, or an incident will disappear from your record if you agree to go tomorrow, for example, rather than due process being carried out, proper investigations, proper hearings, so on and so forth. Due process, any responsible employer should follow due process.
You also mentioned your concerns around the financial aspects of Barnfield. What are those concerns?
Well, where there's privatisation, and we believe, quite rightly, the Academy and Free Schools programme is the privatisation of state education. Where there's privatisation, there's money, and this is taxpayers' money that's being used. And we've had Barnfield effectively buy Moreland School. They've they set targets, the number of schools they want to take over year on year, and it's not about children. It's starting to become about the money. And what we at the National Union of Teachers would like was it to be about the children, and we would like to see schools return to democratic local authorities rather than private companies, which effectively what Barnfield is.
Now, we'll be speaking to one of the Barnfield Federation's two interim CEOs after 8 o'clock. That's if they give us a call this morning. What would you like to ask them, Dave?
I would like to ask them... there's an interesting question. What the National Union of Teachers like to talk to Barnfield. I would like to I would like to see them sit down and have open and frank discussions with trade unions. All trade unions, not just the National Union of Teachers. We believe in working with all trade unions over the future of Barnfield College, over employers' terms and conditions. We would like to be involved in any sort of expansion plans they have. Not when I say involved, we would like to be consulted in an open and proper, transparent manner, rather than sort of lots of smokes and mirrors we seem to have from Barnfield.
And I'm assuming as well you'd also like to bring up the subject of bullying, would you?
We would like due process to be followed, which is part of the negotiation process with trade unions. Barnfield has never been very good at working with trade unions. We would like to see that change. And by working properly and openly with trade unions, then yes, we could see a change in employment practices.
Dave, thank you very much indeed. Dave Mingay, who is the spokesperson of the Luton branch of the National Union of Teachers. I put this plea out yesterday. We had some interesting response, so I'm going to put this plea out again. If you are connected with Barnfield in any way, whether as an employee or you have been an employee or you have some connection, could you send me an email? Strictly anonymous. We'll keep it between ourselves for the moment. Iain.lee, IAIN.LEE at bbc.co.uk. And let me know what things you've experienced. We're hearing rumours, we're hearing stories, and some people have got in touch on the back of my plea yesterday. So I'll put it out there again. If you have a connection with Barnfield, send me an email, Iain.lee at bbc.co.uk.
What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. My friends. What do you do when our love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How does it feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, get by with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I need somebody to love, to love, to love. Would you believe in this love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. What do you see when you turn on the lights? I can't tell you, but I know that it's mine. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I need somebody to love. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends, with a little help from my friends. My friends, my friends, my friends, my friends, my friends, my friends.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC. I wanted to get every second of that song. I wanted to absorb every musical, masterful note from that wonderful Wet, Wet, Wet song there. 08459 455 555. It's 6:15. Let's get the travel now.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, all off to a flying start so far for the M25. Of course, you have got those narrow lanes from junction 23 South Wimms up to Enfield, junction 25. I want to give a mention for the Fenny Stratford bypass in Milton Keynes, because you've got one lane taken out. They're carrying out some work on the junctions at that point, just by the McDonald's roundabouts. Just glancing at the line departures boards, or you can go for your train journey. Bill Sheldrake, BBC, Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Bill. 6:16. It's Thursday, the 24th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a company based in Milton Keynes, which claimed to sell top-price wine from Bordeaux. The National Union of Teachers says it's concerned about the operation of the Barnfield Federation, which runs colleges and academies in Bedfordshire. And there's been a big rise in the number of cars being built in the UK. Sing hosannas. The weather today will be dry with sunny spells and light winds. Coming up, hundreds of pensioners have lost their life savings after investing in a bogus firm which claimed to be based in Milton Keynes.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday morning from 9, the biggest local talking points.
There is only one professional force that can control chemical weapons. How can we, as a civilised country, stand by and let more poor innocent children get killed?
The JVS Show.
Harry's in Bedford. Let's see what Harry wants to say.
She knew what the laws were. She knew what she was doing. She got caught tough.
I disagree with the penalty. I think that for smuggling drugs, it shouldn't be a death penalty.
The JVS Show. Weekdays from 9. BBC Three Counties Radio.
I do not get the Rolling Stones. If anyone can phone up this morning and help me get the Rolling Stones, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. Part of the problem is they don't have... whereas most of, I nearly said all, but that would be incorrect, most of the Beatles albums are cracking albums you can play from start to finish with barely a bad track. The Rolling Stones don't have any good albums. They've got some albums that have got maybe one or two good songs on, but that's it. That's the maximum. 08459 455 555 if you are listening, Charlie Watts. Now, hundreds of pensioners, not the Rolling Stones, have lost their life savings after investing in a bogus firm which claimed to be based in Milton Keynes. The company offered the chance to buy into the high-end wine business over the phone. Yeah. Police say they deliberately targeted the elderly. 200 victims have lost a total of over £3 million. Well, Catherine Boyle, our booze expert, who joins me in the studio. Now, there have been arrests, haven't there, Catherine?
Yeah, they have. Yesterday, police arrested 3 people in connection with this investigation. The arrests were made in Essex and were a 22-year-old man, a 23-year-old woman and a 47-year-old man. They were arrested on suspicion of fraud and money laundering, and a reporter from BBC Oxford went along. That was the police knocking, not the reporter.
So what exactly was... What a lot of knocking. What was this company doing? Explain the scam.
Well, this is according to police. They say a company called Worldwide Wine Investments, which was registered in Milton Keynes, claimed to have been offering customers the opportunity to invest in fine wines from Bordeaux.
Yes.
You may... That name rings a bell with me, and I think it's because the firm took out adverts in the Telegraph and printed brochures, and it had a website. So Detective Sergeant Duncan Wynne from Thames Valley Police say the company was running a sophisticated scam.
It was very sophisticated in that what they did was they set up a scheme whereby the wine was being imported from France en primeur, which means people invested in it before it being bottled. What that basically meant is people had a long wait before they actually realised their investment, and in that time the money was shipped out of the country, and the suspects left the office premises, which means we're always playing catch up with the suspects. So it's a very sophisticated operation, and we believe the suspects from that particular company have gone on to set up further companies and take money from further victims.
Well, a little bit faint there, but I think we got the message. The impact on the victims, what's that been?
This is 200 victims or somewhere around that figure. They lost £3 million between them. This was their life savings, everything that they'd managed to garner in the course of their working lives. Investigating officers say the way this company was working was as a boiler room operation. I've never heard of that term before either. So I looked it up. And in the context of investing, the term boiler room operation refers to the use of high-pressure sales tactics to sell to clients who are cold called, most likely after being picked out of a phone book. Boiler rooms are set up in inexpensive office spaces. In this case, it appears to have happened in Milton Keynes, where you get armies of telemarketers making these calls, hyping or lying about what they're selling in a bid to claim commission from their employers. So here's Detective Sergeant Duncan Wynne.
This kind of crime has a massive victim and individual victims. When you think of large-scale fraud, you quite often think of commercial and companies. What we've got here is 198 individual people who've lost large sums of money. Now, some of them have lost up to £100,000, which is their entire pension pot. So this kind of fraud is very, very serious and can leave people in severe difficulty.
So the arrest made yesterday were the first so far in connection with an investigation. Police are expecting to go much wider. They're describing this as a serious financial fraud. Officers say they're now trying to trace the large sums of money that they believe Worldwide Wine Investments made in profits, and they suspect much of this has been transferred abroad. Officers say the victims of this scam are spread all over the country, and they're expecting more to come forward.
Catherine Ball, thank you very much. I'll see you in a few minutes to go through the papers. A couple of things here. First of all, you'd be a fool, wouldn't you, if someone phones up and says, "Oh, I've got a great... Hello, good morning, is that Mrs Jones? We have a great idea for an investment. Can we have £20,000, please?" You'd be a fool. But these wine investments, the legitimate wine investments, these are big business at the moment, aren't they? There was a gentleman on JVS about a month ago who was having problems with a wine investment company. They're big businesses. Have you invested in this? Well, you kind of send them loads of money and they buy expensive bottles of wine, and then the price goes up, and then you can sell the bottles of wine and you can make a fortune. Is that how it works? If you've invested in this, 08459 455 555. Also, if you're an older person with money, where do you keep it? Do you keep it in the bank? Do you keep it under the mattress or do you invest it in something like this? 08459 455 555. Here's one of the best songs that Phil Oakey ever had anything to do with. What a song! Good morning, dear listener. This is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Lots coming up in the next 30 minutes of the show, but before that, let's get the latest travel with Bill Sheldrake.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
M25 just started to bubble up now, junction 23 South Mims, as you would expect. All looking okay for the M1 if you're heading towards the Luton Airport Spur Road, junction 10. Also looking at the North Orbital Road at the junction 21A roundabout Bricket Woods, looking very slow on my sensors. And a quick mention for Wrenhold, St Neots Road. They're carrying out some electricity work along that stretch of the A4280 just by Norse Road. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Big up yourself, Bill. 6:30, let's get the news and sport now. Here's Lee.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine from France. Many customers handed over their life savings to worldwide wine investments but got nothing in return. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges and academies, is being investigated by the government. And a company from Bedford has come up with a new phone app to keep passengers safe at night when using a taxi. Travel Safer allows the user to check into a vehicle by entering the car registration number and then tracks the route of the taxi via social media. The weather will be pretty dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yaya Toure says he wants UEFA to take action against racial abuse he received during Manchester City's match against CSKA Moscow in the Champions League last night. The midfielder says he heard monkey chants and pointed them out to the referee during the match. The club says it's making an official complaint, but Toure wants UEFA to make more of a stand.
I'm very, very disappointed about what they did today, and I think UEFA have to take a big sanction about that, because of that the player of the colour will be always in the same situation. For me, as captain today, I was wearing into band where they have the right and no racist, and I was totally disappointed. And I want to see some UEFA will do take some action about that.
Well, City beat CSKA Moscow 2-1 in that match. Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, Manchester United beat Real Sociedad 1-0 to stay top of their group. Ian Holloway believes Crystal Palace has a lot to offer any new manager that wants to take on the Premier League club. Holloway departed the club yesterday by mutual consent after admitting he was tired of players' attitudes. He does, however, say he's proud of the team and the club just needs a new voice to inspire them.
I would strongly suggest if someone does want a chance at a Premier League and a fresh start with a good group, then they should seriously believe in this, because it ain't that much that needs changing. That goal the other day that started the rot was probably pretty sensational, to say the least, and it's got to be time to change. And I think a new voice, if the boys see that, might help them as well, because they've done me proud as well.
In tennis, Victoria Azarenka has been beaten by Helena Jankovic in their first match at the season-ending WTA Championships in Istanbul. China's Li Na, also playing her first match, beat Italy's Sara Errani. And the Shanghai Golf Masters has started this morning, where world number 6 Rory McIlroy and 4th-ranked Henrik Stenson head the field. Buckinghamshire's Luke Donald and Woburns Ian Poulter also take part in the £18 million series. That's BBC Three Counties News and Sport. More at 7.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
If you want to take part in the papers with me and Catherine, give us a call now, 08459 455 555.
Here you come again, just when I've begun to get myself together. You waltz right in the door, just like you've done before, and wrap my heart round your little finger. Here you come again, just when I'm about to make it work without you. You look into my eyes and lie those pretty lies, and pretty soon I'm wondering how I came to doubt you. All you gotta do is smile and smile, and there go all my defenses. Just leave it up to you, and in a little while you're messing up my mind and filling up my senses. Here you come again, looking better than a body has a right to.
like a little bit of Dolly Parton, don't we? Just a little bit.
Which bit?
Yes. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio, 08 459 455 555. Catherine joins me in the studio. Morning, Catherine Boyle.
Hello.
Now, the front pages of the newspapers, well, most of them, not all of them, are about the christening that took place. I don't know if anyone knows, but yesterday it was the Royal Christening Day, and we were all very, very excited.
Yeah, Prince George Christening Day.
There we go, you see.
Oh, he's cute though, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's got lovely little
What, that
chubby
pub
cheeks.
landlord?
Yeah, he's adorable.
Well, he's fine, but the Daily Mail has got 15 pages of that bad boy. I'm not saying he's a bad boy, but he
By
might
George, he's gorgeous. That's what we're saying.
The Independent, on the other hand, Catherine, has...
I love the Independent.
They've gone slightly the other way, haven't
Page
they?
27. If you look really, really hard, you'll find right at the bottom of the page, Prince George christened, very small writing, and even smaller writing. Prince George was christened yesterday in a private ceremony in St James's Palace led by the Archbishop of Canterbury. That's the article.
Fantastic. Now, Justin Daly, as we know, is you're a big fan of the royal baby, aren't you, Just?
Oh, fantastic. It makes me feel good. Proud to be British.
OK. Even you would have to admit that 15 pages in the Daily Mail is perhaps a little bit excessive.
I think so. Mind you, people love looking at photos, don't they? 15 pages of
Other
glorious
people's
photos.
private family photos.
Well, I guess they do. They do. You've been speaking to people about this, have you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much on the front page of all the papers this morning, so I've been asking people, the coverage, the photographs, is it a bit over the top? Here's what people have had to say. Well, so you've got the Daily Mirror there, I've got the Daily Mail, 15-page pull-out here in the Daily Mail. All this coverage of the royal christening, is it too much?
For me, yes.
For me...
It gets over the top now.
Oh, he's Scottish.
Over the top. Let them get on with it. Let them have their baby and christen it, do what they want to do with it, and leave the public alone.
So seeing those pictures on the front page of that paper, does that annoy you?
It is indeed. I think there's more in this country than we need than that. I think that's what it's all about. I think there should be more about the political side and what's going on here now, rather than what's there coming from the palace, as we would say.
So you're buying The Sun, again, on the front page, we can see the royal baby, all this coverage. Is it too much? What do you think?
No, it's quite right. I think it's great. Great for the monarchy. Why not?
In the Mail here, we've got a 15-page glorious souvenir edition.
Right.
Would you maybe buy the Daily Mail today?
Yeah, could well do. Yeah.
I've just spoken to a man a minute ago who's really, really negative about this. What would you say to anybody listening to this right now who is saying, do you know what, we don't want to see these photographs? What would you say to those people?
Why not? It's a new era. Isn't it? So, yeah, good luck to them.
And seeing these photos makes you feel happy?
Oh, yeah, certainly does, yeah. And going to work and all.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, two things. I thought the first gentleman was Italian, and also I thought my microphone was shut. Those two things make great radio. So mixed reactions there, Just.
Yeah, I think so. I think, when it comes to the royal family, a bit like us two, you're not a big fan of the royal family. I am. And I think
quite enjoy them. I quite enjoy them.
But, this morning again, when it comes to most things royal-related on the front page, you're not particularly happy, are you?
I think it's overkill to have 15 pages of a private christening of a baby I'm never going to meet.
What's upset me even more, out of those 15 pages, only one photograph of Pippa. What is that all about?
Well, I was got a question for you, Justin. Pippa, I think we can ask this without getting the sack. Pippa...
Not if it's that one we did before.
No, it's... Pippa or Catherine, if you were in a hotel bar and you were having a drink and they sidle up to you, either side of you...
Not me.
No, not you, Catherine. No, the proper one, the posh one. If you're in a hotel bar and Pippa sidles up to you on the left-hand side, Catherine side, and you get the idea, you think, oh, both of these ladies...
Want a cup of tea.
Want a cup of tea in my hotel room, room 221. Which one would you ask to go upstairs with you?
I'd say, where's your mother?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you, Justin. There we go, you see. Here's a question. I was having a conversation with my wife last night. Right, you know the Queen?
Yeah, I'm aware of her work.
Right, and if you were to meet her, you would say... good day, Your Majesty. No, you say, hello, Your Majesty.
So, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty. And you do like a little curtsy and stuff like that. And I would do a bow and say, oh, Your Majesty. What does Prince William say to her?
He calls her Granny, doesn't he?
Does he?
Mm-hmm. But I think they do something where initially the first thing they say is Your Majesty, and then from then on it's Granny.
Right, so even if they're at home... Right, and it's a Tuesday morning, and he comes down, and she's got Kyle on the TV or something, he would come in and say, Your Majesty, Have they done the DNA results yet? Would he still be that formal with her?
I don't think he would. I don't know. Ask a political commentator. They can have good guesses.
Well, we could ask Kelly Betts. No, we won't. And do the royal family, like Charles and Camilla and the kids and the Queen, and did they all sit around, you know, kind of watching EastEnders?
Well, did you watch, what was it, The Queen with Helen Mirren in it?
No, I put it on DVD for my mum, but I didn't watch it.
Because they did sit around in their dressing gowns watching the telly with their feet up.
Yeah,
They must do.
Yeah, just one quick thing about that, Catherine. That's not a documentary. That is The Queen with Helen Mirren in it. It's a movie.
Yeah, I know, but it's based on what people do at home.
It's based on the script.
It was like the royal family, but posh.
Yeah, you see. Okay.
You know, the royal family is in Jim Royal.
Lynn, what do you reckon?
What, about the Queen?
Yeah.
Does she sit around in a dressing gown and slippers watching the telly?
Oh, I bet she does.
Yeah, of course she does.
But do you think all the family sit around? Like, you know, you'll get William and Harry will go up and he'll goose the Queen.
They'll be in a onesie and...
The Queen in a onesie? A Queensie?
Yeah, Queen in a onesie.
Wow.
Actually called about the Stones.
About the what, sorry?
Rolling Stones, the Beatles.
Oh, the what?
The Rolling Stones question.
Oh, the Rolling Stones. Oh, yes, go on.
Well, I went to see them in concert, shows are all done, in Hyde Park.
Well, it could have been this year, I think. Well, I'm assuming you mean 1969?
Yeah, when Mick Jagger wore a white dress.
Yeah, and he threw out all those dead butterflies, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did. He had a box full of butterflies. He was going to release them, but they all died in the box. So he just chucked dead
showered them with
butterflies
dead
everywhere.
insects.
Wow, was that exciting?
Yeah, I was a bit of a Stones girl rather than Beatles.
Sounds like it.
But I do like the Beatles. I'm not keen on Paul McCartney.
Well, name. The Stones have done 3 good songs.
Gimme Shelter.
No.
No, that was brilliant.
No, the incorrect answer. You're thinking of Angie. Next one.
I can't think of one at the moment.
Exactly. You see, and you're a fan, and you can't think of a good song.
I know one.
Go on.
Stab me up.
Yeah, that's it.
I quite like that.
Oh,
There's one more. Go on. What's the third good Stone song, Lynn?
It's quite early in the morning. I can't remember.
No, that's not it.
Painted Black?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Incorrect answer.
A red door and I wanna paint it black.
That one, yeah. Sympathy for the Devil?
Colours in the sky. And I think I've got a taxi driver. He's lovely. I've known him for about 15 years. He's got the Beatles on his radio or disc or whatever all the time. He's got you get in his cab and everything is the Beatles, which I think is quite nice. Are you still there?
What else have you spotted in the papers, Catherine?
Well, this story about blonde girl in Ireland. Do you remember they made all that hype about?
Oh yes.
Taking
By the way,
another
thank you, Lynn, for coming on. That was excellent
Thank
stuff,
you, Lynn.
Lynn. Appreciate it.
Another
Thank you.
child taken from a Roma couple,
Yep.
with the suggestion being that she didn't look like them. Blonde girl who was taken away from her Roma parents in Ireland was reunited last night with them because DNA tests proved that she was theirs.
There you go. You see. One more quick one. I've spotted this in the Express. They've had a few mums recently on huge benefits with lots of kids. Mum on £38,000 benefits. She's got 9 kids. Books a holiday in Spain. Good for her. She's taking the kids on holiday. She says. She said it'll be our first ever holiday, and I've worked my backside off to earn the deposit for it. Good for her. Well, they're trying to make this sound like some outrageous. How dare she? She's on benefits. Well, she's on benefits doesn't mean you shouldn't go on holiday with the kids.
Also, if you've got 9 children, 38 doesn't go that far, does it, with 9 children?
No, it's not me who deserves a holiday, it's my children. Why shouldn't they have what other children have? They're really excited to be going. Of course they're going, they're beautiful children. I hate this culture we have of kind of victimising the children. Oh, just because, you know, who knows what the situation is with this mum and whether she's lazy.
Does she work as well?
She does work, she seems to say here. So good for her.
Don't know how she manages.
I say congratulations. I'm glad she's having a holiday. Go and enjoy yourself, love. And you too, Catherine. Thanks very much. 08459 455 555. Thank you very much, Lynn, for your cooperation and your singing at this ridiculous time in the morning. It's BBC Three Counties Radio. 6:45. Let's get the travel news. Here's Bill.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
If you're just about to leave the house, a bit heavy now on the M25, anti-clockwise from the M1 up to Kings Langley, 21 to 20, as you would expect, those you surprised with that one. And that gradual build-up now on the A1, Barnet Way, on the bypass. That's heading out from Stirling Corner up towards Apex Corner. Quick mention for High Wycombe, A40, West Wycombe Road. You've got some temporary traffic lights to carry out some work along that stretch until the 1st of November, which is until next Friday, the scheduled date. Light departures boards, departures of Bedford, Luton, Milton Keynes Central, all looking OK. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bill, thank you very much. 6:46. It's Thursday, the 24th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a company based in Milton Keynes, which claimed to sell top-price wine from Bordeaux. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the group, which runs colleges and academies, is being officially investigated. Coming up, what will make you feel safer at night? How about a sneaky little app on your phone? We'll tell you more in a bit, but before that, let's get the weather. Here's Elizabeth Rizzini.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, a very good morning to you. It's a slightly chillier start to the day. You'll notice that once you step outside the door. Temperatures typically between around 4 or 5 degrees all the way up to 7 degrees in just outside Milton Keynes actually at the moment. So it is a slightly chillier start, and we do have some mist and some fog patches out there already, and possibly still some to form through the over the next couple of hours or so. So do watch out for that through this morning's rush hour. But for many of us, it is a nice bright start to the day. It's not looking too bad today. In fact, it will stay dry. There'll be lots of brightness around, much lighter winds than we've been used to recently, and some good spells of sunshine. So it's all good news for today. Top temperatures today up to 15 or 16 degrees, 61 in Fahrenheit. Just where we do have that mist and the fog, that can linger on, I'm afraid, for much of the morning. As we head into tonight, it will stay dry for most of the night, but the winds will increase, the cloud will thicken, and eventually we'll start to see another system spread in from the west. That's going to give us a very wet and windy start to the day tomorrow. Temperatures overnight down to around 10 or 11 degrees, so a mild night to come. And then it will be quite wet and windy at times over the course of the weekend, particularly Sunday, looking very windy then, but not a patch on what we could be looking at on Monday morning. It could be very stormy indeed. I just advise you to keep an eye on the forecast, keep checking the BBC Weather website, and we will of course keep you updated. That's the forecast.
Yay, Prince George, Christening Day.
Interesting Katie Hopkins, who's a businesswoman and a broadcaster.
Isn't it annoying when you just miss the end of something?
Close to the headlines, there's a full bulletin at 4.
You have to turn the radio off. Or there's just so many interesting things, you don't have time to listen to them all.
There's a lady here. Hello, have you got the treasure for me? I have the treasure.
I lost him when I was 11 and he's certainly made a great impression on me.
Then why not use BBC iPlayer Radio?
She developed a cocaine habit that cost her over £120 a day.
You can listen again to our programmes and even see what our presenters look like.
You look like Mr. Stamper from a James Bond film.
Head to bbc.co.uk/Three Counties and make BBC Three Counties Radio unmissable.
You can't be late for Matthew and Son. He won't wait. Watch them run down the platform 1 and the 8:30 train to Matthew and Son. Matthew and Son, the work's never done. There's always something new. The files in your head, you take them to bed, you're never ever through. And they've been working all day, all day, all day. There's a 5-minute break, and that's all you take for a cup of cold coffee and a piece of cake. Matthew and Son, the work's never done. There's always something new. The files in your head, you take them to bed, you're never ever through. And they've been got people who've been working for 50 years. No one asks for more money, cause nobody dares, even though they're pretty low and their rent's in arrears. Matthew and Sam, Matthew and Sam, Matthew and Sam, Matthew and Sam. And they've been working all day, all day, all day. Matthew and Sam, Matthew and Sam.
A little bit of early Cat Stevens. Some of his early stuff is weird, but I love it. He's got a song called I Love My Dog. I love my dog as much as I love you. Oh, thanks, Cat. Now, a company from Bedford have come up with a new phone app to keep you safe at night when using a taxi. All profits made from it will go to local rape charities. Well, founder of Travel Safer, Anthony Price, is here to tell us more. Anthony, how does it work?
Morning, Ian. In simple terms, it allows you and I on a night out to be able to enter in a car registration of a vehicle into the app, and then it captures our location, our time. Optionally, we can add a photo of the vehicle as well, and then what it does is it stores it in the app, and then it also posts a copy of it to our social media timeline, meaning that mum, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend can see a copy of that check-in, including the location, and then track our journey as such.
Now, it sounds like a good idea, but will people actually bother to do it? Because if we're a little bit tipsy on a night out, Anthony, I can imagine both of us getting a bit tipsy out together.
Yeah.
Are we really going to be bothered to do that?
I guess, of course, you know, there are going to be people that are going to not use it, and there are going to be people that are. And when we did some research originally with, you know, females in particular, they're certainly more likely to use it than perhaps you and I may do on a night out. You and I may not feel vulnerable, but equally, from a driver's perspective, you know, it depends on how threatening the driver appears to the individual when they're about to get into the vehicle. So it's very much about preventing a problem before it exists.
Now, to have come up with this, you must think that there is a problem.
Yeah, talking from personal experience, not myself individually, but a family friend of ours about 8 years ago, unknown to her, got into an unlicensed vehicle and then was sexually assaulted. So at the time, it was something that affected us all, and we kind of thought that there must be a way around to kind of, you know, prevent it from happening again. At the time, technology didn't exist, so it was done through text messaging and stuff. So we then essentially went to the drawing board as soon as technology allowed it to be able to come up with this idea. And now phones have got GPS, for example, in there. It's a lot more easy for tracking and things.
Now, there is a free version and a paid version with all profits going to local rape charities. What's the difference between the two versions?
Okay, the free version allows you to check into the vehicle, and the pro version allows you to check out of the vehicle at the end of the journey as well. And the pro version also allows you to take a photo of the vehicle, so that effectively is then also trackable. And has this launched now? Is this out there now? Yeah, it is. So for example, if you and me wanted to download it today, we could do it on Android or iTunes. And one of the things we're looking to do is develop a driver version as well, because I think it's important to note that we want to protect genuine drivers and genuine passengers. So if people are looking for Anthony, what do they need to type in? They just search Travel Safer UK on iTunes or Android's Play Store, and it should come up there, or they go to travelsafer.co.uk and follow the links. Anthony, cracking work, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with that. 08459 455 555 is the phone number.
Scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Losing control, yeah, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? 'Cause I don't think that I can take anymore. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. And you started out with nothing, and you're proud that you're a self-made man. And your friend did all the calling, slap you on the back and say, please, please. Yeah, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. Stuck in the middle with you. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. So, you wealthy elderly people, what do you do with your money? It turns out lots of you have been ripped off by a fake company that was supposedly based in Milton Keynes. Well, those wine investment companies where you buy wine and it increases in value and then they sell it for you and you make a load of money. It was a scam. But these wine things are very popular at the moment. How much money can you actually make from buying wine that you never see it? You get sent a few bottles of Blue Nun and you put it in the garage and then 6 months later you sell it for twice the price. You never see it. If you've done one of those wine investment things, give me a call, 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
M25 slowing down now from the M1 up to Kings Langley, but it starts queuing from junction 17, Maple Cross, up to the M40 junction 16. I would imagine that's not going to surprise you in the slightest. Heavy traffic as well on my CCTV cameras, the A10 in Enfield between Baltimore Lane and Southby Road. Across the towns, not too bad, looking pretty decent so far across Milton Keynes, Houghton Regis, Welwyn Garden City. Having a quick glance at my light departures boards in front of me. If you use the train to get to work, it's all looking okay actually, including Milton Keynes Central and departures from Hertford North. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties
Thank
Radio.
you very much indeed, Bill. Lots coming up in the next hour of the show, including Nadine Dorris, if we can get hold of her, talking about Barnfield. And we are asking, don't forget, if you have worked for or indeed work with Barnfield now, could you just send me an email, completely anonymous, ian.lee, IAIN.LEE at bbc.co.uk. Someone's already been in touch, just keen to know what's going on there. We're hearing rumours and stories, and we'd like to get your side of the story. Here's the news now with Lee.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: elderly people conned in wine scam, unions concerned about Luton's Barnfield Federation, and a big rise in car production.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine. Many customers handed over their life savings but got nothing in return. Tony Fisher has the details.
Detectives say worldwide wine investments cold called people, offering them the chance to invest in fine wine from Bordeaux. Many of the victims were elderly and were convinced to sign over their savings or pension funds. It's believed the firm could have taken more than £3 million. 2 men and a woman have now been arrested by police on suspicion of fraud and money laundering.
The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges and academies, is being investigated by the government. Dave Mingay from the NUT believes Barnfield is privatising state education.
It's not about children, it's started to become about the money. And what we at the National Union of Teachers would like was it to be about the children, and we would like to see schools return to democratic local authorities rather than private companies, which effectively is what Barnfield is.
There's been another sharp rise in the production of cars in the UK. More than 1 million cars have been manufactured so far this year. Jonty Bloom reports.
More than 140,000 cars were manufactured in the UK last month, an increase of almost 10% on September last year. The sharp rise in car production has been helped by both strong domestic demand and by an increase in exports. It means that well over 1 million cars have been produced in the UK so far this year. That's well ahead of output in 2012. There's also been a sharp rise in engine production, much of which is for export, although the production of commercial vehicles such as vans and lorries is down.
A company from Bedford has come up with a new phone app to keep passengers safe at night when using a taxi. Travel Safer allows the user to check into a vehicle by entering the car registration number and then tracks the route of the taxi via social media. Astronomers say they've discovered the most distant galaxy identified so far in our universe. The star system is about 13 billion light years away from Earth and is helping scientists learn what happened after the Big Bang. Professor Stephen Finkelstein from the University of Texas led the study.
One very interesting way to learn about the universe is to study these outliers, things like this. And that tells us something about what kind of physical processes are dominating galaxy formation and galaxy evolution. What was great about this galaxy is not only is it so distant, it's actually pretty exceptional.
In sport, Man City are making an official complaint about racist chanting by the Russian crowd during their Champions League tie against CSKA Moscow last night. They're lodging a protest with UEFA about the way the fans treated the midfielder Yaya Toure. The weather will be mainly dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, that's 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you very much, Lee. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. I've just popped out, put my head out the window. It is very, very dark out there. It is 3 minutes past 7, and it's pitch black out there. What on earth is the world coming to? I tell you what we're coming to. We're coming to Christmas. Yay! Lots coming up on the show in the next hour. Well, they let us down yesterday, but the Bedfordshire education firm at the centre of an investigation into financial irregularities say they will definitely talk to us this morning. We know they're listening, so good morning, Barnfield. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you after 8 o'clock. We were supposed to be speaking to Mid-Bed's MP Nadine Dorries now, but she's not answering her phone. Now, I like Nadine. I like Nadine Dorries. I think she gets a bit of stick, some of which is deserved, but some of it, I think, is undeserved. She's always welcome on this show. But, Nadine, pick up your blooming phone, love. Other things on the show. Hundreds of pensioners have been tricked into investing in a bogus wine firm. They've lost £3 million between them. Well, someone's got wise to the fact that A, pensioners are most likely to have huge savings, and B, pensioners don't trust banks. So, where do you keep your money? Do you remember the story we played last week, the week before? 3 women and a baby in a car. Police order them out. The girls refuse to get out. Police smash the windows. Well, they should have heard from Herts Police by now. Have they? Facebook.com/BBC3CR. You can send me a text, 81333. Start your text 3CR, or you can give me a call, 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And if you happen to see Nadine Dorries out and about, could you just give her a nudge and say, come on, Nadine, Ian's waiting for you. 08459 455 555. We're talking about spiders. Yesterday, false widow spiders. Heard some horrific stories. The fella that was shifting bricks in the garden, which apparently is prison slang for something, I don't know what, but he found 60 false widow spiders. He went at them with a screwdriver. Well, Stephen the Meltman sent us in a picture that has caused controversy here at Three Counties Radio. Stephen, the picture you sent us, is that your big bald head, by the way?
That's my big bald head,
Okay.
yes.
So it's a picture of your big bald head with what I and Kelly Betts thought was a tattoo of a spider. Catherine
Yeah.
Boyle thought was a real spider. What
Good
is
old
it?
Catherine, she knows what it is.
It's a real spider?
Yes, Mrs. said, there's a spider, get rid of it, as she does. So I grabbed hold of it, and as I grabbed it, it got out of my hand, ran up my arm, and decided to sit on my head.
He did what on your head?
Sit.
Sit on your head, okay, so I misheard you.
Yes.
It is massive, mate.
Oh, no, it's lovely. All you have to do is you get hold of them, you take them outside, you put them outside, and you say, don't come back in, and they don't come back in.
Steve, do we have your permission, if I can ask you, to put that picture on Facebook?
Yes.
Is that all right?
Yes.
And not because
conkers don't work, by the way.
Sorry?
Conkers don't work. That's an urban myth.
Oh, yes, we had someone suggesting you put conkers in a room, and that gives them. Because people, we'll put that on the Facebook page now, facebook.com/BBC 3CR. Don't comment on the fact that Steve's got quite big earlobes. They are quite big, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Hey, get this: my wife and one of my children don't have earlobes.
Yeah, I've seen a few people like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and they think I'm weird for having earlobes.
Well, you are strange, but it's a different reason.
Thank you very much indeed. Oh, well,
and apart from another thing.
Yes.
The best Rolling Stone song.
Yeah.
The last one on an album, because then you know it's finished, you don't have to listen to anymore.
Yeah, exactly. They're rubbish, aren't they?
Oh, yes.
And you've got
to... They must have made their money on the looks. Oh, no, wait a minute. It can't be that either, can it?
No, exactly.
Ooh, that's nasty,
and I think, listen, respect to them, because they've somehow managed to trick the world into thinking they are an amazing band. They're not. They're not an amazing band. They had, three good songs, and they were very, very lucky. They kind of popped up at the right time. But they are a bit stinky, really.
Yes, I can't really see anything in them at all.
Stephen, lovely to talk to you. Thank you for the picture. It's horrible. It looks like a tat. We'll put it on the Facebook page. You can go and have a little look at that. Facebook.com/BBC 3CR. You can also give us a call this morning. 08459 455 555. We talked about it yesterday.
Yay, Prince George, Christening Day.
It's on the front pages of the newspapers. The Times have done one of these awful things they do. Papers often do this. The Times Souvenir Edition. Oh, Souvenir Edition. So basically there's a kind of a wraparound page that's a picture of Prince William. Help him to grow and flourish into the person God has created and called him to be. The Archbishop of Canterbury. It's just... the Mail has got 15 pages on the royal christening. Overkill? A little bit too much? Are you actually excited by the prospect of Prince George becoming king? Did you watch with bated breath yesterday? It passed me by, really. 08459 455 555. Now, nearly 200 people have been scammed by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine. Police say many of their elderly customers handed over their life savings but got nothing in return. Marianne Birch is the Chief Executive at Age UK Hertfordshire. Morning, Marianne.
Morning, Ian.
Do you come across this kind of thing often?
Thankfully, no. It is rare, but of course, when it does happen, it's very distressing, and I think there's probably quite a lot that we don't know about, because you know what it's like. You do something silly, even you trip on the pavement, you look round to make sure that no one has seen you do it. And I think what happens sometimes, it has happened, but someone then realises, I've been had, and they don't admit to it. And so I think sometimes there's some hidden crimes going on.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So you think that there is kind of an embarrassment and shame factor, that people don't want to look silly, so they won't tell anyone what's happened to them.
That's right, and I think it's important for sort of families and carers as well, just to keep a lookout too. Just to seeing if their parent or relative or neighbour says had a phone call or a letter or someone call. I think just keeping that just that awareness as well is important.
My mum, not particularly elderly, but gets a little confused at times. Is very trusting, and I've kind of managed to come in halfway through, a deal being done, where you think, Mum, no, you're taking them completely at face value. Someone has turned up at your door, is trying to sell you something that's too good to be true. Don't sign there and then, I guess, is one of the bits of advice.
That's right. I mean, we've got a few checklists, a few things that we would say.
Give us some tips, Mariam.
Was the offer unsolicited? Or were you looking to have new windows put in? Were you looking for an investment? Did you ask someone to come round because you've got some money you want to try and get some better return on? Why is a rush? Do you have to respond quickly? Why is there a rush? You want time to think about things. Talk to someone, get advice, get independent advice. So why is someone trying to rush you into it? Do you have to pay for a prize or a free gift, or admin costs if there's sort of an offer of some money coming along? And then they start to say, you have to help this along a bit, you've got to pay an admin fee. Do you have to ring a premium rate number starting with an 09 or a mobile-only number? No, not a landline.
If things look, this scam kind of worked on two levels. One of them were cold calls where people would phone up and say, hey, we've got this great deal, just give us your bank details, we'll take £10,000 and you can invest in wine. And again, I would imagine your advice would be, don't give out your bank details to cold callers.
Exactly.
But it also worked on a second level in that they had brochures, they had a website, they advertised in the Telegraph. When you see something like that, it looks more legitimate, doesn't it?
That's right. That's a lot more difficult, and it's sort of getting. When you talk about large amounts of money, of course, it is worth getting that independent financial advice. But that scam, particularly, would have been a difficult one. But think, do I really want to invest? Is that something I really wanted to invest in, or have I been approached? Or is it something I've always wanted to do? Don't be pushed into something that something you'd never have thought of in a million years.
Mariam, do you think older people are slightly mistrustful of banks? It's the cliched image of a pensioner with all their cash stuffed under the mattress. Do they mistrust banks?
I don't know if I particularly mistrust a bank nowadays, but one difficulty, of course, is that the interest rates are so low with any sort of normal bank account nowadays or savings account. One time, if someone on a pension could have perhaps topped up their income from their interest from their savings. That's not the case now, and that's given hardship to a lot of older people. So they are looking for ways that they can top up their income now when the interest rates are so low.
And finally, Marion, if you're concerned about a relative, what should you do?
Well, there's we've got this booklet, Avoiding Scams, Age UK. So give us a call, and we can help. Older people can present an attractive target for scammers because they're more likely perhaps to have accessible savings, and also they're a bit isolated, from and also isolated from the internet. Perhaps can't check up on things. But look out for those warning signs, such as unusual amounts of post or evidence of large cash withdrawals, and offer support and advice. Sometimes, older people don't always want to take that advice, and does anybody want to take advice sometimes? But reassure someone that's a common problem, so they don't feel silly about it. If something's happened, they don't feel silly about it. But get help. There's lots of useful organisations, but give our helpline a call or CAB. So there's plenty of organisations that can help. But certainly our leaflet is called Avoiding Scams. And if you could get onto our helpline, we can send a copy of it out.
Marianne, thank you very much indeed. Marianne Birch, the Chief Executive at Age UK Hertfordshire. I'm keen to find somebody who has invested in these wine investments. How does it work? There was a chap on JVS talking about it a month ago. He was having trouble with his company, not in any way associated with this company here. But they seem to be very popular. And it's sort of a get-rich scheme, and I'm just always suspicious. If it sounds too good to be true, then guess what? It probably ain't true. Have you invested in wine or invested in something perhaps a little bit unusual? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, let's get the travel from, I know, Kelly Betts.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sorry in advance. The M25 anti-clockwise is very slow at the moment. That's between junction 27 of the M11 and junction 24. Looking at the southbound on the M1 around junction 10 Luton Airport, it's very heavy in the area, and that's up until junction 9 Redbourne. M25 anti-clockwise in Hertfordshire. Did I already say that? Very slow traffic on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 21 of the M1 and junction 20. That's pretty much it. That's Iain running in to make me jump. That's your travel news. More not from me in about 15 minutes' time.
Thank you, Kelly. Expertly done. So I'm out of breath now. Morning, it's 7:16. It's BBC Three Counties Radio. These are your headlines on Thursday, the 24th of October. Police say elderly people were conned out of their life savings by a company based in Milton Keynes which pretended to sell expensive wine from France. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group are being officially investigated. The weather will be dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Coming up, we'll be talking about the changes to a Hemel Hempstead bus service. Local and indeed what I like to call vocal.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We were just getting a call on our travel hotline. Gabriel. Good morning, Gabriel. Good morning.
Good morning, hello.
Hello. So where are you calling from? The future?
No, I'm driving home at the moment.
OK, what would you like to say?
Well, the queues on M1, they're because there's a broken down car between 9 and 8 on the fast lane.
Between where? 9 and 8?
Junction 9 and Junction 8.
Yes? Gabriel, could you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Could you say, I have come to take over your planet and kill all of you?
No, I can't say that.
OK, Gabriel, thank you very much.
Saturdays on BBC Three Counties Radio are about
6 minutes past 6, starting your Saturday morning. Let's get stuck straight into the news.
Memories.
Let's begin with the UK charts from this day.
1980. Food.
My Weekend Kitchen brings you delicious, simple recipes for you to make at home.
Sport.
Live commentary every week from your local team.
And local unsigned music.
BBC Introducing, bringing you local music to beds, hearts and bucks.
For full programme details, go online to bbc.co.uk/Three Counties. Saturdays on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine Boyle, is there any sign of Nadine Dorris?
Unfortunately not.
Okay. What we need to do is we need to go... And I like Nadine. This isn't an anti-Doris bash, OK? 'Cause I think she's good. We need to go back through all the past shows and count up how many times she's let us down like this.
Do you need to... We could buy her an alarm clock.
We could do that. I'm sure she's a very, very busy lady, but naughty. Naughty. Now, changes to a Hemel Hempstead bus service has left some elderly people in the town struggling to get to their local doctor's surgery. The number 1 Arriva bus, which travels from Bennett's End, has changed its service from operating 4 buses per hour to just 1. Well, since then, the elderly people who live in the flats in Langley Avenue can't get to their doctor and have been trying to speak to the council ever since with no response. Well, we sent Justin Dealey down to meet one of the residents. Good morning, Justin.
Hello, Iain.
Justin, what's going on here?
Well, I've been to meet Elizabeth Price. Now, she's been trying to get answers since the end of July when this service changed. She's so frustrated that she's had to pick up the phone and come to us. Now, according to Elizabeth, the doctor's surgery is around 3/4 of a mile from the bus stop on Leys Road, which is up a hill. So a number of people there, they can't walk up the hill or they can't afford a taxi to the surgery.
Of course you can't. The taxis are expensive.
They are very expensive. So I spoke to Elizabeth yesterday. She's very angry that her 2 local councillors haven't got back to her over her concerns. Here's what she had to say.
They're like snow in a mist. When you need them, they're never around. Sorry, but we haven't seen hide nor hair of them since the last election, when they're all over us like a rash. They're conspicuous by their absence, and they don't even have the courtesy to return our phone calls, well, mine in particular. In regards to Mr. Mahmood, I must have left about 12 messages on his answer phone, and the other lady about 2 or 3.
How does that make you feel?
Blooming annoyed, that's for sure. As I said, they're all over us like a rash at election time, but when you actually want them to take up the cudgel for you, they're conspicuous by their absence.
Because some people may say, well, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's quite a small issue. But in saying that, this is important to you and other people that you've been talking to.
Absolutely, and the people who use the service, when there were 4 in the hour, it was well used.
So it wasn't a case of the buses being empty or anything like that?
No, but if you go to Benison shops, there's a number 2 which goes in the other direction, and there seem to be every 5 minutes, which is ludicrous. And there used to be every 15 minutes, and suddenly you get a number 2, which is going every 5 minutes, with another one behind her waiting to go. And we, in this particular area, can't even get one, apart from the one in the hour.
And friends of yours, what are they saying about this?
Neighbours and the residents that I meet, don't know them all by name, but they're of the same opinion as I am, that it's just not good enough, that we're the neglected few.
What would you say to any of our listeners who say, the doctor's surgery's not that far away, it's less than a mile, can't you just get a taxi?
If the minimum charge you'll get a taxi for is £5, how many taxis can you get on a pension? How often can you get £5 for a taxi? You can't. You'll have to go without something else.
And just lastly, you've had to come to us because you are so frustrated that you're getting nowhere. You are phoning your local councillors and they haven't responded to you. What is your message to Dacorum Borough Council? Because, Elizabeth, I guarantee you right now, they will be listening to you. What is your direct message to them?
Get some action. You know, I only thought of going to you yesterday, even though I listened to your programme, when a lady said to me, I'm thinking of taking it up with Three Counties Radio to get things done. And I said, you've hit the nail right on the head. Yes, they do. And so I said, well, I'm going to give them a ring. I've got nothing to lose and perhaps we've got something to gain. Hence, I'm talking to you.
Well, there you go, Justin. There is more to this story as well. Let me just announce where we are at the moment. We've tried to speak to Councillor Sucklin Mahmood and Councillor Joanne Wickstead from Dacorum Borough Council. But to be honest, Justin, we haven't had much luck. After speaking to my team yesterday and giving their promise to get back to us, so they promised to get back to us. By 4:45pm last night, everyone in the council press office had left for the day with no attempt to answer our questions.
I mean, at this moment in time, I don't think Dacorum Borough Council are particularly happy with us over our coverage about the Old Town, but if they made a promise to get back, they should get back.
Get back to us. And as Elizabeth said in that package, people come to Three Counties Radio because we get things done. And we do. We don't take people not returning our calls lying down. We keep calling. We go around and knock on doors. We've got a statement from Arriva buses. They've said, we only make changes to improve the service of our bus route and only take those vehicles out of action that do not have a high usage. Arriva will be happy to discuss any changes to the service with Elizabeth and give her full reasons as to why these changes have been made. Interesting, they say we only make changes to improve the service of our bus route. Well, who's saying it's improving it?
I mean, Elizabeth was saying in that piece there that the buses on that particular route, they were always busy. Now, what I can tell you, I know that Elizabeth is hopefully on the line. In the last 20 minutes, Iain, I have spoken to Sucklin Mahmood, the councillor in that piece who Elizabeth made reference to. She left 12 voicemails. Sadly, he can't come on the programme live this morning.
Sorry, why?
He's in Newcastle and he's preparing for a business meeting. But
he can't come on the phone for 5 minutes?
No, he can't, apparently. He's about to go into the shower.
He can't... Hang on a minute. Sucklin Mahmood, he's a councillor.
He is.
Okay, Dacorum Borough Council?
Yes.
He can't come on the phone for 5 minutes.
No, he has a full-time job.
Explain to me why... Elizabeth, you are on the line. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning.
He can't come on the phone for 5 minutes and explain why Elizabeth Price has called him 12 times and he's not called back once. He can't come on and explain why his team promised our questions will be answered yesterday and no one got back to us.
He's too busy. But what he did
say...
What he did say was that he's got a problem with his home phone, so he's not quite sure if voicemails are there or not. This is a councillor saying that. So what he's done, he has assured me, he's given me his personal email address, and he said to me that if I send on Elizabeth's telephone number, he guarantees me that he will call her today off the back of that meeting, so Elizabeth can hopefully raise those concerns with her local councillor, which he's been trying to do since the end of July.
OK, Elizabeth, what's your reaction to that?
I won't hold my breath.
Would you be happy for Justin to email your telephone and contact details to Mr. Mahmood?
I haven't got email.
Don't worry. Justin will send. Justin will send the email to Councillor Mahmood, and hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
He's promised he'll call you back today.
Well, as I said, I won't hold my breath. I couldn't even get hold of him. At least you managed to contact him. I was beginning to wonder if he existed.
No, he does exist. He's in a hotel room in Newcastle, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt for the time being. You know, you've tried him 12 times. You're so frustrated you've had to come to your local radio station. He has assured me if I send that email before 8 o'clock this morning with your telephone number, he will call you off the back of that meeting and you will actually have that conversation about your concerns over the bus route.
Right, a couple of things here. Elizabeth, would it be OK if we spoke to you tomorrow morning just to check that Councillor Mahmood has called you back?
Absolutely.
Would that be OK? And so thank you very much, and thank you for coming to us this morning. Justin, that's excellent if he does that. Mm-hmm. Not good enough, though. I want him on the show.
Well, again, in that email, I should put that offer to him. And, you know, this morning, yes, we phoned him. It was, 7:05? And, you know, I appreciate he's got a full-time job. So, tomorrow, we've got 24 hours notice. Yep. Let's get Councillor Mahmood live on the programme. Why not?
Bearing in mind that my team spoke to people at the Cornbury Council yesterday, and they promised they would get back to us. They broke that promise. I want him to come on. I want him to explain the changes in the bus route. More pertinently, I want him to explain to me on air and the listeners why he has ignored or not received Elizabeth's 12 phone calls.
It's his chance to put the record straight, but, you know, we've got to be impartial, but looking at the facts here, it doesn't look good.
Can I just say something?
Of course you can, Elizabeth.
He has a full-time job, and I appreciate that, but he had that job when he was canvassing, and we saw him up like a rash then.
He's a councillor. He's a councillor. Whether he has a full-time... If he can't cope with doing both, he needs to... You know, you would need to leave one. He's a councillor. He's answerable to you, Elizabeth. He's answerable to me and Justin, and he's promised he'll speak to you today, and we'll speak to you tomorrow and find out what happened.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for getting in touch with us, Elizabeth.
I'll spread the word to the other pensioners.
Please do. Thank you very much. And Justin, let's get him on the show tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I shall put that call in again right now, and no excuses, really.
Great stuff, mate. Thank you very much. By the way...
Yes?
I've had a little heads up.
Where's this going?
Well, no, I've had a little heads up from producer Catherine Boyle, who came over the intercom with a very bizarre message. She said, we just had Justin on the line. You.
Yeah.
And he said, all right, Kath, all right, girls, I have got a pucker recording of a kiddie singing Jolene. When do you want it? When do you want it?
When do you want it, yeah.
Well, my reaction was, we'll have it at 9:30, please. Why on earth... What is it?
Well, you were talking about Dolly Parton earlier on, weren't you?
Well, yes.
Yes. And Teresa phoned the newsroom and said, I've got this great clip of my grandchild singing Jolene. I said, really? Is it that good?
Yeah.
Is it awful, but you're just saying it's good because it's your grandchild? She played it to me down the phone, and it's wonderful. So hopefully after 7:30 you'll be talking to Teresa.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and hopefully she's not in Newcastle for a meeting. And she'll be playing you that clip. So Teresa, answer your phone. Let's get you live across Beds, Hearts and Bucks playing that clip of your grandchild. It's
Justin
wonderful.
Dealey, thank you very much indeed. That's something to look for. That's what we call in the business a little throw forward. People turn off at quarter past, 2:45 and 2:30. But now that we've thrown forward to Teresa, and indeed possibly Dennis may be coming up, who knows, you won't be able to switch off during the travel and the news, will you? Of course not. Here's Bill.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thursday morning's rush hour started for the M25. Very slow now from the M121 up to Kings Langley. And the M1 London bound just caught this on the cameras, actually, from Luton Airport Junction 10 up to Redbourne Junction 9. You've got plenty of company along that stretch. Going to pick it up for Harpenden now. Looking slow. St Albans Road, major overroute, of course. That's in both directions, by the way, by Station Road. And Stevenage, a little bit busy now between the football grounds and the A1M. Public transport, if you're on your way to the trains, all looking fine, including London-bound journeys. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. Police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine from France. Many customers handed over their life savings to worldwide wine investments but got nothing in return. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges and academies, is being investigated by the government. And a company from Bedford has come up with a new phone app to keep passengers safe at night when using a taxi. People can enter the vehicle's registration number, which is then tracked online until it reaches its destination. The weather will be pretty dry with sunny spells and light winds today. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius. That's 61 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yaya Toure wants UEFA to take action against racial abuse during Manchester City's match against CSKA Moscow in the Champions League last night. The midfielder says he heard monkey chants and pointed them out to the referee during the match. Toure believes that guilty fans should be banned from football.
Try to be strong as possible because otherwise they will continue like that. Maybe ban the stadium, I don't know, for a couple of years or maybe for a couple of months. And because I think after that the club, they will say, OK, we have to educate the fans, but I think it's enough. It's enough. Too much is too much.
Well, City beat CSKA Moscow 2-1 in that match. Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, Manchester United beat Real Sociedad 1-0 to stay top of their group. Crystal Palace have confirmed they have their eye on Tony Pulis to take on the vacant manager role at the club. Ian Holloway left the side yesterday by mutual consent after less than a year in charge. Co-chairman Steve Parish says the club needs someone with more experience of top-flight football.
Ian would have done anything for the club. He would have happily stayed on and carried on giving his best, but he genuinely feels that somebody with a bit more experience of this league, because we don't have an infrastructure as a club really to help him. We really need somebody to come in and that's got knowledge of the league and see if we can't put some points together and give ourselves a chance of staying up.
In tennis, Serena Williams has recorded her second victory of the week at the WTA Championships against Agnieszka Radwanska, but the world number 2 Victoria Azarenka has been beaten by Helena Jankovic. And the Shanghai Golf Masters has started this morning, where world number 6 Rory McIlroy and 4th-ranked Henrik Stenson head the field. Buckinghamshire's Luke Donald and Woburn's Ian Poulter also take part in the £18 million series. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, more at 8 o'clock.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning. Lots coming up in the next 30 minutes. We've had some texts here on the subject of buses being removed and councillors not getting back in touch with us. And just to say, we are going to do our best to try and get Councillor Suklay Mahmood on the show. We were promised yesterday our questions would be answered. They weren't. So we shall follow that story very closely. Some texts. Helen in Milton Keynes says, 5 years ago, Arriva removed the number 9 route, which served 2 local GP surgeries. Same results as for residents that have contacted you today. When I challenged this decision, as bus was well used, and asked if they'd surveyed passenger usage, I was informed that Arriva does not have to survey services when making decisions regarding bus routes and had no intention of doing so. Seems their attitude to passengers has not changed during that time. Dennis is on the line. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning to you.
Did you hear the results of the vote yesterday?
No, but I got the results. Somebody put a prepaid funeral thing through my door.
Well, let's not jump that gun too prematurely. But basically, we voted yesterday on whether Dennis should be allowed to come on once a week, should be limited to once a week, or could he come on any time he wants. And people said, yes, Dennis, you can come on any time you want. Shall I play the fanfare?
Yes, please. Is that it?
Would you like it again?
No, it sounds like that person who said, I've got a whining voice. That sounds like a good fanfare for me. Yeah?
That's your triumphant fanfare.
That's very good.
Yes. It's excellent.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. What can I do for you?
All my guests, people who voted for me, those who didn't vote for me, just turn the radio off.
OK, good lad. What can I do for you?
I just said, that's what I got yesterday. I got this prepaid funeral thing through the door.
Oh, yeah?
That's it. And it was something through the door. It can come through the letterbox. So somebody walked round to my house and stuck it through the door.
What do you mean they stuck it through the door?
Yes, through the letterbox.
So it did go through the letterbox?
Yes, that's right.
So this is one of those things where you can pay for your funeral in advance?
Yes, but I've already done it, so I don't need to. I've arranged for the fire brigade and everybody.
That's a jolly thing, isn't it? Pay for your funeral. I'm not paying for my funeral. My family can scrabble their pennies together and pay for it for me.
Oh, I wouldn't put that on my... I've got a smashing family. They look after us like anything. So this is the one thing that I want to do for myself.
OK. Well.
Yep. So apart from that, the wine business.
Oh, yes. There has been a scam that has allegedly been based in Milton Keynes, where elderly people and other vulnerable people have invested tens of thousands of pounds investing in wine. It's all a scam. But people do this. They invest in wine these days.
But why? Because it's going to be more expensive to drink sour water. That's all wine is, really. And the other day in the Mail, the Mail again, £7,000 for a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Now, what idiot who was going to drink it?
Well, there will be idiots.
I know, but
who
who's
drink
going to drink it? You're at the end of a long column of people putting money onto wine. So in the end, somebody has to drink it.
What's the most expensive wine you've ever had?
About £3.50.
I'll tell you this story now, and I tell it with embarrassment. I was a different person at the time. I was also earning, if I can speak frankly, I was also earning a lot of money, okay? It was television money, so it was silly. It was pretend money. I once, to impress a girl, bought a $400 bottle of wine from 1964. I know, ridiculous. And do you know how it tasted? Flipping awful.
Sour what?
Oh, it was sour and it was dusty. It was horrible. Never do that again.
No.
She wasn't that impressed.
No, I did try to impress somebody with wine. We were at a dinner party, and the chap came along, uncorked the wine, you see, and I had a sip. And he did the old business of sniffing at the cork, the sommelier, I think they call them. And I said, no, it's not bad wine. He said, what do you expect for 3 and 6?
Hey, you see, it's an old money joke. I'm laughing, I don't get it. Now, you've also called in about the Beatles and the Stones.
Yes, the Beatles, yes, but the latest bit, the oldest Beatle now, Bruce.
Bruce?
No, not Bruce.
Paul wasn't in the Beatles very long, was he? He kind of left just before they got really big.
I didn't like the Beatles.
I don't think Paul is the oldest Beatle now. I don't think he's ever been the oldest Beatle. Isn't Ringo the oldest Beatle now?
I don't know. He's well away now. But, however,
He'll be catching up with you soon.
What do you mean? He'll have a job. I'll be gone long before he catches.
Well, luckily you've prepaid for it all.
Yeah,
I bet
right.
Ringo and Paul haven't prepaid for theirs.
Well, I hope they've got a fire brigade with them as well.
They don't think to the future, do they? That's the problem with these pop stars.
As I say, I've been arranged for the fire brigade, so because when they burn me, I've got so much fat and wine in me, it'll take them 3 weeks to put me out.
There you go, you see.
No, I listened to the Paul the other night. He's made a new record called Kisses on the Bottom.
Well, he made that new record. That was about 3 years ago.
Was it? Oh, well, I only saw it the other day on television.
He's made a newer record now called New.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds reasonable. Yeah. No, but I say I was much more impressed with his talking singing than I have done with his twanging his guitar.
You don't like him twanging his guitar?
Not particularly. I didn't like the Beatles very much. They were a bit brash.
You didn't like the Beatles?
No.
Brash?
No, yes, right.
What did you think of the Stones then?
Well, as far as the white dress is the only thing I can remember.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
No,
Dennis, I know I'm winding up now.
Are you? Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was awkward, wasn't it? Peter's in Walmer Green. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Peter, what can I do for you?
Well, when you go out to a restaurant anyway, a bottle of wine really should be open 24 hours before anyway, so I can't see quite how you can have a bottle of wine that's just been opened and get a full flavour anyway.
So are you suggesting, Peter, that we pop down to our local fancy restaurant, whatever that may be, and on a Tuesday, and we order a bottle of wine, and then we say, right, keep that to one side open, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll drink it with the food?
No, I'm just saying the situation is a con, really, because you should open a bottle of wine and let it breathe.
But not for 24 hours.
Well, yes, you drink it, open it one day and drink it the following day at home.
Oh, I say, well, you could
It tastes
you could
much
possibly do
better.
that, yeah. It's not very nice wine, is it?
Well, it depends what sort of wine you're buying. I mean, I drink a lot of Merlot, and I don't go for the expensive ones. I go for the ones always on special offer.
How much Merlot do you drink, Peter?
I drink probably about a bottle a week.
Okay, well, that's not so bad.
And furthermore, I've got about 6 or 7 that are really good, and that I've picked from supermarkets, and until they're on special offer, I don't buy them.
Hey, what's the thing with wine now? They don't have corks in anymore. They're all screw tops.
No, well, that was a myth anyway, really.
Well, when I was a kid, when I was a young man, if you bought screw top wine, that was considered cheap.
Yes, it was. But I mean, if you think in terms of where they get the corks from the trees, then
I think they clean them though before they.
Oh yes.
Do corks grow on trees?
There are fewer and fewer of those type of trees anyway.
Do corks grow on trees?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, it's part of a tree.
Oh, I've never seen that. How funny. Peter, what do you think about all this coverage of the royal baby? Is it a bit too much?
It's given me nappy rash already.
Peter, well, if I were you, I'd go and put a bit of cream on your old bot. That's what I would do if I were you. Should I have a quick look at the front pages of the newspapers? Yes, why not? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. The Independent. There's a jolly story. Marines murdered man live on camera. Court-martial sees graphic footage of execution of injured Taliban fighter. Our soldiers doing inappropriate things in battle zones? No. Really? A prisoner was murdered in cold blood in Afghanistan by a Royal Marines patrol after they'd found him lying injured and helpless in a field, a court-martial has heard. Footage of the alleged battlefield execution of the Taliban fighter in Helmand 2 years ago was recorded by the helmet camera of one of the alleged killers and shown to the proceedings at a military tribunal in Bulford, Wiltshire, yesterday. I'm going to read something that's not particularly pleasant, but I think it's worth reading. No, I'm not going to read that, actually. I'm not going to read that. That's horrible. And also, it's got the C-bomb on it. The C-bomb is on the front page of The Independent. It goes in to describe what the soldier allegedly does. Okay, well, what a horrible story. It goes on to describe what he allegedly does, and what he allegedly says to the gentleman before he shoots him. He then turns to his colleagues and says, obviously, this don't go anywhere, fellas. I've just broken the Geneva Convention. Oh, it's horrible. I can't read that paragraph out. That's actually quite upsetting. The Daily Telegraph. The perfect prince. Hey, look at that. There's a picture of a prince and there's a picture of the princess. And there's lots of pictures. This goes on for 3, 4, 5. The first 5 pages are of Prince George. A little bit too much. Let's do one more, then we'll take a call. Let's go to the Times. It's a souvenir edition. Does anybody keep these souvenir editions? Am I right in thinking? Yes, I am. The souvenir cover is of a much thicker paper than the rest of the newspaper. Well, that's silly, isn't it? Gorgeous George. You can see right up his nose. 08459 455 555. Teresa's on the line. Good morning, Teresa.
Hi.
What have you got for us?
My grandson singing Jolene. You'll love this.
Oh, well, let's hear it then.
Okay.
Hey, Jolene. 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 No. Jolene. Jolene. No. You do it then. No. Jolene. Jolene. Then. No, what? Do it properly. Jolene. 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 Say A.
That's it.
Well, excellent. How old is he?
25 months.
Now, does he know excellent choruses? Does he know any of the verses? Oh,
no, not yet.
Can he do 9 to 5? That's one of my favourites.
Next one.
He's going to do that next time, is he?
Yeah.
Is he a bit of a Dolly fan?
Well, I don't know. We've got to get him out of it before he starts school, we think. We're going to get him onto Jim Reeves.
Oh, he's going to be brought up in the country style. Good for you. No, good for you to get him to go and educate some of those other kids about what real music is, Teresa.
Yeah, great.
Teresa, thank you very much indeed. There you go. You see, wonderful. Wonderful stuff, isn't it nice? It's one of the joys of having children is you can get them to sing songs and record it. Excellent. Teresa, thank you very much for that. If you want to give us a call, 08459 455 555. If you want to see a picture of a spider on a bald man's head, facebook.com/BBC3CR. Seriously, it's up there. It looks good. Yeah, we're not going to do a phone in what's fallen on your head, Catherine. We're not. Well, no, we're not going to do a phone in as what's fallen on you. Really? Is that what you think?
Things fall on people's heads. It's a universal. It's one of those great universal things that happen.
I tell you what. Okay, your job hangs on this. Okay, let's. You set it up. You set up the stall, and hang on a second. You set up the stall. I guarantee we will get no calls on this. We will get no calls on this at all.
Okay.
So away you go. Set it up.
Prove him wrong. Steve is a milkman. In the course of his work, a spider landed on his head. What's landed on your head? 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Heading out to the motorways, bit of a slow one. London bound from Dunstable, Junction 11 up to Junction 9, Redbourne. You're queuing right now on my sensors. M25 anti-clockwise, Kings Langley, right up to Junction 16 for the M40, which itself is looking slow now. This is heading northbound towards Oxford from the start of the motorway, which of course is the Denham roundabout. Heavy traffic now for the A1M, that's heading southbound between Junction 8 up towards Junction 7 for Stevenage FC. But by the way, plane is coming Saturday, 3 o'clock. They take it on Crawley Town. Might get busy for Broughton Way. We have the Lamech Stadium. And public transport right now looking absolutely fine for those trade services. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bill, thank you very much. You keep working on those biceps, young man. Now, Catherine Boyle has set out a challenge there. I don't think we'll get any phone calls on it. The phones haven't exactly gone electric. What has fallen on your head? I know, listen, I've been doing this kind of job for 10 years. No one's going to call in with this. No one. What's fallen on your head? 08459 455 555. Catherine's job hangs in the balance. Right, 7:46. It's Thursday, the 24th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police say elderly people were conned out of their life savings by a company based in Milton Keynes, which pretended to sell expensive wine from France. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group are currently under investigation. And coming up, we'll be catching up with one of the women who complained about heavy-handed treatment by Herts Police. She should have heard from the police by now. We'll find out how she has in a few minutes. Don't forget to give us a call with your stories of what's fallen on your head. No one will. No one's going to call in. 08459 455 555. But now, let's get the weather with... Yeah, that's right. It's Kelly Betts.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's fine and dry with some sunshine today. Rain early tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
What's going on with all our hired hands?
I don't know. We're having problems with our ISDN box.
Technical problems at BBC Three Counties Radio. Who'd have thought of such a thing? Thank you very much, Kelly. Almost expertly done, but not quite.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
You have no idea what it's like for the businesses up here.
Local and vocal.
We're at a situation where we cannot pay invoices that were due in August. As a result, we cannot buy stock for the Christmas trade.
Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
I mean, I've lived here 30 odd years, but you can't go out no more. I used to go down the bingo. You don't go anywhere.
People on planes who are really large should pay for 2 seats because they take up all the space.
Local and vocal. Across Beds, Herts and Bucks. This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Facebook.com/BBC 3CR is the telephone number. Catherine, looking a little bit embarrassing for you, isn't it? No one's called in with the what's fallen on your head.
What?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm a bit busy taking all these phone calls. Can you go to Fader 1, please?
OK, let's see who's on Fader. Good morning, Fader 1. Who's this?
Jane Aylesbury.
Good morning, Jane Aylesbury. What can I do for you?
Bird poop has landed on my head.
You're not calling in for Catherine's what's fallen on your head nonsense, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I didn't think we'd get anybody. OK, all right, fair play. We've got one call. Well done. When did bird poop fall on your head?
I was coming out of a hospital and it just landed and it was, like, disgusting. It was... Yeah.
It's not like... People say it's lucky, don't they, if bird poop falls on your head?
It's not when you go to an appointment afterwards.
Oh, no. Did you manage to get it out?
Yeah, after a bit of a struggle.
OK. Well, Jane, thank you very much indeed. You see, Catherine, we've had one phone call. We've had one phone call from one person who's had something falling on their head. Not brilliant, is it?
Fader 2.
Huh? Who's on Fader 2? Who's this?
Hello.
Hello, who are you?
It's Jez.
Hello, Jez. What can I do? Are you being attacked by loads of birds? What's going on?
Well, I'm talking about things that fall on the head.
Yeah, go on.
Every time I go into my indoor aviary, the birds flick millet on my head and they poo on my head as well.
OK. How many birds have you got? It sounds like hundreds.
I've got 50 at the moment.
Flippin' heck. Why?
Yeah. Well, I breed them.
Oh, OK. Fair play.
I am building an outside aviary for them at the moment, but it's all in process at the moment.
Are they in your house?
They're in my lounge.
Oh, no, Jez. You're like one of those women that have got 3 or more cats. How can you live like that?
I'll get used to it.
How can you watch Cash in the Attic or EastEnders without...
I don't watch a lot of telly. My wife does. And if we switch all the lights down, they go to sleep, so it's not too bad. But I don't watch a lot of telly anyway, because most of it's rubbish anyway, to be honest.
Well, listen, I'll give you that there. Just be quiet for a second, Jez. Let's just have a little listen. That would drive me nuts. Do they all have names?
Yes, they all have names, believe it or not.
Do you know all of their names?
Pretty much, yes.
Give us your 5 favourite ones.
My 5 favourite... Well, I've got a new one, a baby one that I'm keeping, one of the latest babies. His name's Bertie.
Right.
I've got Rocky, he's one of the first ones I had. I've got Crunchy, he was the very first one that I had.
Yeah.
I've also got Peach, she's one of the first ones that I ever had. And I've also got Lucky, who's the first one that I hand-reared myself.
Right, there's a fire in your house, Jez. The house is burning down. You can only save one of those birds. Which one are you going to save?
Oh, God, I couldn't answer that one. I'm trying to get them all
You've got to answer it. You can only save one, Jez. I'm sorry to paint this horrible picture, but quickly, the flames are lapping.
I'd probably get Lucky out, because he was the first one my first ever one that I hand-reared.
And you'd let the other 49 just perish?
Well, I wouldn't. I'd try and save them. Of course I would.
Jez, you're a good sport. Thank you very much for coming. What a racket! There you go, Catherine. Well done. So your topic...
Fader 1.
Sorry?
Fader 1.
Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, who are you?
Oh, I'm Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. You've not called in about this what's fallen on your head nonsense, have you?
I have, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Please tell me it's not bird poop.
No, far better than that.
Oh.
Le Creuset saucepan.
Oh, what, sorry?
Le Creuset saucepan.
Oh, that's... Now, for those who don't... Obviously, I know what a Le Creuset saucepan is, but there might be some people listening who don't. What is it?
They're incredibly heavy cast iron makes of saucepans and griddles and all the rest of it.
How did that fall on your head?
I was working as a nanny for a very posh family, and they'd gone away for a week, and a kitchen had been fitted whilst I'd been in charge of the house, and I was putting everything back where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very short, and I was attempting to get a Le Creuset saucepan up onto one of those hanging hook things.
Yeah.
And missed, and it fell on my head.
Was it one of the... Because, listen, head knocks can be... well, they're very painful, but sometimes it's delayed pain, isn't it? It hits you and you think, oh, I got away with that. Oh, no, I didn't. What was the pain like?
I have no idea, because the minute it made contact with my head, it knocked me out.
Oh, you were knocked out?
Yes.
And how... were you on your own?
I was on my own, yes.
Any idea how long you were out for?
I have no idea at all. All I remember is sort of staggering to the house next door that had equally posh people in it, sort of muttering incoherently and taking my hand away from my head, and blood sort of dropping through it.
Sarah, well, listen, I hope everything's all right now with your head.
Yeah, it was some 20 years ago, so I think I've probably recovered.
OK, well, Sarah, thank you very much for that. Oh, dearie me. This is taking a very macabre turn. Well, OK, so Catherine put out a rather shoddy topic. We got 3 calls.
Fader 2.
Sorry?
Fader 2.
Oh, you're having a laugh. Who's this?
Hi, it's Ruth from High Wycombe.
Hello, Ruth from High Wycombe. You don't know Jez, do you, from High Wycombe?
Yeah, he's my husband.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Ruth, now listen, Jez can't hear us. He's in that room with all those flipping birds.
I know.
How annoying is it?
Very.
Why do you allow 50 birds in your house?
Well, I enjoy it, but it annoys me when EastEnders comes on and they don't shut up.
Oh, no, hang on. Jez says that you lot don't watch much TV because there's not much on.
No. I watch EastEnders. I like EastEnders. But you can guarantee as soon as the theme tune comes on, they get 10 times louder.
Well, they get excited, of course. They want to see what's happening to Dirty Den and Angie.
Oh, yeah. Well.
But so you got these... Does your living room not stink?
No, he's actually very good. He cleans them out every day near enough, and the floor's kept clean because he hoovers. But as he said, we're moving them out the back, so I'm going to get my lounge back.
Yeah, no, Ruth, listen, I'm a bloke. He'll find something else.
No.
He will find something else to put in there. So does he... Sorry, he lets them fly around?
Oh, yeah, they come out the aviary and they fly around the lounge. Not all together, not all 50 of them.
Oh, OK.
You know, maybe sort of 49 of them.
Oh, really?
Well, no, we do it in sort of stages, so probably a maximum of about 10 at a time.
Now, Ruth, Jez, very coldly, I thought. I was surprised by his cold-heartedness. He said if there was a fire in your house, he would save Lucky.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit cruel on the other ones there, Jez. Which one would you save, Ruth, or would you be starting the fire?
No, probably Lucky as well.
Yeah, Lucky's... What's so special about this Lucky?
Well, he was the first one that Jed's bread, but also he was like, we had to hand feed him, like with a syringe. You know, had to sort of feed him every sort of 2-3 hours right at the beginning, and he's very sweet. And as the song says, you know, up all night to get lucky.
Well, I don't think that they were talking about budgerigars there.
No,
the Daft Punk, but they may have been. Ruth, listen, thank you for calling in. I couldn't. Listen, I like animals. We've got a cat who's wonderful. We've got a bunny, Benjamin Bunny. Oh, but did something fall on your head, Ruth?
Yeah, raindrops.
Oh, for goodness sakes. That doesn't count.
OK. What about this text from Andrew in Windsor?
Go on.
Prince Andrew. 3CR, morning. My colleague was putting something in a cupboard in the office and had a 9-inch computer speaker land on his head. Needless to say, it hurt. Prince Andrew in Windsor. OK, so you've got phone calls and you've got people contacting us. Yeah. Things fall on people's heads, stat. You should know this. You've been doing this long enough. You know that that's a great phoner.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Hazel's in Welland. Hazel, nothing's fallen on your head, has it?
No.
Good.
This is going to be very boring after all that.
Well, I don't know, to be honest.
I was just saying, the little boy who sang...
Oh, yes, he was singing Jolene.
How come a 2-year-old has suddenly become 25 months? If you ask me how old I am, I'm going to say 924 months.
That's a very good point. I remember having this conversation when we had our kids. At what point do you stop saying the months? Yes, I think once they've reached 2, they're 2.
Yeah.
My little boy, my youngest is, I don't even know, he's going to be 2 in January, so that's 3 months away, so that makes him 21 months.
Yeah.
But we kind of say, oh, he's nearly 2.
Yeah.
We don't do the month thing anymore. It's weird, isn't it?
I thought it was a bit odd, yes.
Well, thank you for picking that up, Hazel.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Are you sure nothing's fallen on your head?
Possibly, but I probably can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, Hazel. Thank you very much indeed. Of course, if you get amnesia when something falls on your head, what's the best thing to do, Catherine?
Hit yourself on the head again.
Exactly. You get either a big safe or a piano to fall...
Or an anvil.
Or an anvil to fall from a tall building and land on your head. Now, taking us up to Lee Agnew with the news and, of course, Bill Sheldrake with the travel. We're going to go to Dennis in Dunstable, who has a limerick. Dennis, over to you.
To fall on your head. I won a prize with this one. It was a Du Bonnet thing. So they started off a Du Bonnet tour to Paris. Oh dear, I've got it. Made a cock up of it now. Yes, and he was hit by some pigeon debris by looking up at the Eiffel Tower. A bachelor footloose and free won a Du Bonnet tour to Paris. As he gazed at the skyfall of tower built by Eiffel, he was struck with some pigeon debris. And I got a holiday from that, would you believe?
But you told us the punchline, Dennis, before we got there.
Don't forget, I'm living back to front at the moment. I'm growing younger, not older.
Where did that holiday... All right, Benjamin Button, where did that holiday take you to?
In Paris.
Really?
4 days. Absolutely superb.
For doing that limerick?
Yes.
Give it to us one more time.
A bachelor footloose and free won a Du Bonnet tour de Paris. As he gazed at the skyfall of tower built by Eiffel, he was struck by some pigeon debris.
It's not a limerick. The first line doesn't scan properly. A bachelor footloose and free.
Oh, yes,
there was a young lady from Durban.
Talk to me about limerick.
You've got the wrong beats on it.
No.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. A bachelor footloose and free. It doesn't work. You're missing a syllable, Dennis.
No, I didn't.
Sorry, you have to take that prize back.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Not going very fast, M25. Anti-clockwise, in fact, it's queuing. Junction 20 right up to Junction 16 for the M40, so the rush hour has started. Likewise, London-bound M1 as well from Dunstable, from Junction 11. Dunstable itself looking quite active now along the High Street, and the High Street in Houghton Regis as well. We're looking at some slow traffic on the CCTV cameras. Light departures boards looking nice and healthy for your train journey. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Bill. We've got our team trying to do limericks now. If you can do a limerick about something falling on your head, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. 08459 455 555. Coming up... Oh, we've got too much to say in this few seconds. I'll tell you after the news with Lee.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: elderly people conned in wine scam, unions concerned about Luton's Barnfield Federation, and a witness appeal following Letchworth car crash.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Police say nearly 200 people have been conned by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine. Many customers handed over their life savings but got nothing in return. Detective Sergeant Duncan Wynne from Thames Valley Police says Worldwide Wine Investments ran a sophisticated scam.
Set up a scheme whereby the wine was being imported from France en primeur, which means people invested in it before it being bottled. What that basically meant is people had a long wait before they actually realised their investment, and in that time the money was shipped out of the country and the suspects left the office premises.
More concerns have been raised about the expansion of the Barnfield Federation in Luton. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges and academies, is being investigated by the government. Dave Mingay from the National Union of Teachers believes Barnfield is privatising state education.
It's not about children, it's starting to come about the money, and what we at the National Union of Teachers would like was it to be about the children, and we would like to see schools return to democratic local authorities rather than private companies, which effectively what Barnfield is.
Hertfordshire Police are appealing for witnesses to a crash near Letchworth on Tuesday which left two men in a critical condition. The men, aged 30 and 51, were seriously injured when their silver Ford Focus lost control and collided with a black Volvo on Norton Road just before 8 a.m. England's chief medical officer is calling for a new focus on improving the health of children. Dame Sally Davis says cases of rickets are on the increase and a scheme to give free vitamins to young children should be extended. She says people should feel ashamed of the worrying state of children's healthcare.
What we've looked at are how many children die in a number of countries, and it's absolutely dreadful that in this country 5 children die every day who, if they'd been living in Sweden and looked after there, would not have died.
A company from Bedford has invented a new phone app to keep taxi passengers safe at night. People can enter the vehicle's registration number, which is then tracked online. Anthony Price from Pacific Data says he came up with the idea because of what happened to someone he knew.
A family friend of ours about 8 years ago, unknown to her, got into an unlicensed vehicle and then was sexually assaulted. So at the time, it was something that affected us all. And we kind of thought that there must be a way around to kind of, prevent it from happening again.
In sport, Manchester City are lodging an official complaint after one of their players was allegedly a victim of racist abuse by fans last night in their Champions League match. Yaya Toure says he heard monkey chants from the crowd during City's 2-1 win over CSKA Moscow. The weather will be mainly dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. 3 minutes past 8, the 24th of October. 2 months till Christmas Eve, one of the best... is Christmas Eve the best day in the year? Possibly is. Well, they let us down yesterday, but the Bedfordshire education firm at the centre of an investigation into financial irregularities will be talking to us this morning. We'll be speaking to Stephen Hall from Barnfield. Hundreds of pensioners have been tricked into investing in a bogus wine firm. They've lost £3 million between them. Have you invested in these wine firms, and where do you keep your money? And we will be catching up with one of the women who complained about heavy-handed treatment by Herts Police. She should have heard from Herts Police by now. Has she? Facebook.com/BBC3CR. Send me a text 81333. Start your text 3CR, or you can give me a call 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
MPs in Bedfordshire have told BBC Three Counties they have concerns with the way a chain of academies are operating. The Barnfield Federation, which runs academies and free schools in Bedfordshire, is under investigation by 2 government departments. But now several MPs say that they've raised their worries with the Secretary of State for Education, Michael Gove. Well, Stephen Hall is one of the Barnfield Federation's 2 interim CEOs. He joins me now. What do you say about these investigations, Stephen?
Well, thank you. Good morning, Ian. And let me first thank you for giving me the opportunity to reassure parents that both the college and academies are continuing to operate as normal, providing high-quality education and training to our local community.
Sorry, and your response to the question?
And in terms of our investigation, we are working with the Skills Funding Agency and the Education Funding Agency, who are investigating with a focus on our learner management and financial systems within the college and wider federation. We're working closely with them. We don't expect to have any formal report from them for 4 to 6 weeks, but when we get that report, we will then be reflecting on what their findings are.
Pretty worrying, isn't it, Stephen, having 2 government departments investigating you? That's not great.
Well, as an organisation that operates in the public sector, we regularly work through a process of ensuring we offer high quality and value for money services. So it's as a public sector body, we are quite used to having audits and inspections. But
what are these investigations specifically looking at?
As I said earlier on, the investigation is looking at the general focus on learner management and financial
I don't know what that means. I don't know what learner management means.
Learner management is the way in which we track our learners within the college, and the way in which we manage and process our systems.
So there is potentially a problem with the way you track your learners and process your systems.
Well, from the point of view of the Skills Funding Agency and Education Funding Agency, they have a duty to ensure that we are compliant and are operating at the right level. And
are you confident?
Working with them.
Are you confident that you are compliant and that you will pass these investigations with flying colours?
Well, as an organisation, we are a reasonably large provider in the local area, and inevitably there are things that we as an organisation will have to learn.
So you're not confident you'll pass?
Well, no. I recently joined the organisation as CEO. I've been with the organisation for about 4 or 5 years, and I'm confident that we continue and have provided high quality education at value for money. Are there things that we can learn, Ian? The obvious answer is yes, there will be.
So you're not confident you'll pass these investigations with flying colours?
I think there will be things we will need to learn.
What things do you think they might be?
We have yet to see, Ian. I can't comment on that.
But you must have an idea. If you think there'll be things you need to learn, you must have an idea where you're failing.
I think we will await the findings that come from the output from this investigation in 4 to 6 weeks' time, in which case we'll then review and reflect on those, and where we need to as an organisation, we'll adapt and change the organisation to move forward.
We understand that at least one of the investigations is related to operational finances of the college and the Federation. Is that the case?
I think I just explained that point.
You didn't mention the phrase operational finances.
Well, we have operational financial procedures that the college and the academies operate, and as part of that investigation, the SFA and EFA are looking at all of those areas.
What are operational finances?
In
simple terms.
In simple terms, how we spend our funding in terms to provide high quality education.
So if they're investigating the operational finances, how you spend your funding, are they concerned that your funding is being spent inappropriately?
I think at the end of the day we will be able to see in more detail following the publication of any report as to what the exact specification of what their investigation is. I think at this stage we know that it's a fairly broad base review.
Okay, well, I'll ask you the question. Is your spending being spent appropriately?
We believe it is, yes.
All of it?
We believe it is, yes.
Do the allegations made about the college and the Federation relate to the current operation?
The allegations that are made against the college are based over a period of time and cover the last couple of years of operation.
And so it's safe to assume that you personally are probably being investigated by the Department of Education because you've been there for 5 years, haven't you?
I think the organisation as a whole is being looked at, and I understand that, and that's appropriate. We are part of the public sector. We have a duty to provide high quality and quality education within the sort of tolerances of value for money, and that's quite appropriate. I think that's the right thing to do.
2 government departments, several MPs, questions raised in the House of Commons. Doesn't look great, does it? And there will be people who are concerned and are curious as to what is actually going on at Barnfield.
Well, as I keep saying, we are an organisation providing high-quality education.
I know, Stephen, put the script down and talk to me like a human being. So I'm sort of reading the script. Let's talk properly. There are parents... Well, you've learnt it very well then, because there are parents who are genuinely concerned about what's going on, genuinely concerned that their local MPs are raising questions, genuinely concerned that 2 government departments are investigating you. There is a problem, isn't there?
We, as an organisation, have and continue to provide high-quality education. That's what we are about.
Stephen.
Now, as part of that process, Iain, we have to ensure that we offer, that we provide that service within an appropriate framework.
Stephen, why can't you talk to me like a human being? Why are you just reciting the script?
I'm not reciting a script. I'm telling you the reality, Iain.
You're not. You're not. There will be parents listening to this whose children are affected by this.
Yeah.
And they will be getting very frustrated with you reciting the same line.
Well, as I said to you, we are the investigation is underway by the Skills Funding Agency and the Education Funding Agency. We will take on board their findings when we are made aware of them. At this stage, we don't know what those findings are. All we can assure parents is that our schools and college continue to operate at a high level and at a high quality provision. And
not all of the parents agree, do they? Barnfield College, there's a sign outside that says outstanding and different. Outstanding's a very Ofsted word, isn't it?
Outstanding is a word that Ofsted do use, that is correct, but we think that our provision at the college is
someone's crossed out the word and written satisfactory, haven't they? So people aren't happy, parents aren't happy.
Sorry, I missed the question. Could you repeat that?
Yes, of course. Someone has crossed out the word outstanding and written satisfactory. Parents aren't happy.
There are within the college areas that we need to improve. I think that's fair. I think the college itself has been a long-standing provider of education within Luton, and we have plans, Helen Mayhew and myself, as the new interim CEOs, to ensure that that educational provision is developed and progressed with new areas of learning and new styles of learning to meet the needs of our local community.
Does the investigation relate to your time specifically or your predecessor?
The investigation, as I said earlier on, is wide-ranging. It isn't...
So it covers both aspects. Who was your predecessor?
My predecessor was Sir Peter Burkitt.
So what was happening then, which may have led to an investigation, but the investigation's happening now? Why was that investigation not allowed to happen under Sir Peter Burkitt?
I would first of all dispute that. I don't agree with that. An investigation by the funding agencies can take place at any point,
but these things happened when you've been there and whilst Sir Peter Burkitt's been there.
As an organisation, we regularly come under review and scrutiny, and quite rightly so, because we are taking public funds to provide education and training in the area, and that's quite appropriate, and that's something we regularly take part in and work closely with the funding agencies associated with that.
You're assistant principal of Barnfield College?
I was, correct.
So you kind of knew what was going on then?
For the last 3 years, I've been working very closely on the academy side of the operation, bringing the new academies into the Barnfield family, and I'm very proud of the work that we've done there with the set-up of Moorlands Free School, which joined us in 2011, and Vale Academy, which joined us last year, with further academies due to join us later this year.
Members of teachers' unions have used the word bullying. Bullying took place in those schools.
I'm not aware of any such allegations.
We had Dave Mingo was on the show today. He used the word bullying.
Well, I'm certainly not aware of any such allegations. We are and have been classified by Investors in People as a gold a sort of champion at that level, and that's because our staff have regularly fed back to us that what we do is good, that what we and the way that we treat and work with our staff is outstanding. So I don't recognise that.
As far as you are aware, you have never heard any reports of members of staff claiming they were bullied or there was an over-enthusiastic management style?
I think in any organisation, Ian, of our size and operation, we will always, within the operation, have challenges that we have to face.
Bullying.
But as a whole, as an organisation, and it's come out within our investment in people model. No, I don't recognise that as a statement that defines our organisation.
I'm not saying defines. I'm saying that it has happened. You do not recognise that bullying has taken place.
I said earlier on.
I'm just clarifying because I just want to get sure. You do not recognise, Stephen, that members of your staff have been bullied.
In an organisation of 1,500 people, Ian, it would be totally impossible for me to say that there have never ever been occasions.
No, but that's not what I'm asking, Stephen. I'm asking, as far as you're aware, you are telling me you have not heard any reports of members of staff being bullied.
As I keep repeating to you, within an organisation of our size, there are inevitably cases where staff feel that they have not been supported
so staff have been bullied.
in a way that they may have wished.
Who's bullying them?
Those occasions are investigated, and where they are and where they have ever occurred, they are dealt with appropriately.
So
I'm not aware, Ian, of any significant aspects of that taking place.
Okay, but
I keep repeating that.
Well, no, you're contradicting yourself slightly because you're saying that you have heard of accounts of bullying. Who was doing the bullying?
I'm sorry. There are within an organisation of our size always issues.
But these are investigated. So these are investigated. So who was doing the bullying? It must have been someone high up.
There are occasions within the organisation that these things occur. I'm not aware of any occasion at a higher level where these things have occurred. But as I said, we have a very robust HR and management system. We
What happened to the bullies?
Consult our staff.
What happened to the bullies?
I'm afraid I can't answer specific questions on those individual items because I'm not aware of those details.
Okay, so you are the interim CEO, and you don't know what happens to bullies in your organisation.
Where we have cases of bullying within in this organisation, as within any organisation, we have to investigate those occasions and deal with those matters appropriately.
And how would they be dealt with?
In terms of our processes, they would normally be if bullying was found to occur, and I don't believe that to be the case in our organisation. Then the individuals would be covered by some formal process.
Is it true that grades were massaged?
No, I don't think that's the case.
You don't sound very confident.
Well, I think that as I said earlier on, there are aspects of the investigation that are underway by the Skills Fund.
So that's one of the things that's being investigated, grades being massaged?
The way in which we manage our learners is an area for concern, and that's something which we are...
You didn't make that clear. You didn't make that clear, that grades being massaged was one of the things being investigated. Sorry, maybe I missed that.
Well, that's not an specific area that I am able to comment on at this point because the investigation is still underway.
But you could have, when I asked what was being investigated, you could have said one of the areas of investigation, quite a significant area, people would think, is the area of grades being massaged. But you didn't mention that. Why?
The investigation is broad-ranging, and we are working with the Skills Funding Agency on that.
Why didn't you mention that? Are you embarrassed by it?
At the end of the day, allegations have been made, and they are being investigated. None of those allegations are at this stage proven.
But I'm just like the question, Stephen, is why didn't I ask you what was being investigated? It turns out we've just discovered that grades being massaged is being investigated, and yet you didn't mention that when I asked. Surely that would be one of the first things you'd have mentioned.
Well, at the end of the day, as I said earlier on, the investigation is underway. It's broad-ranging.
No, that's not the question. I just wondered why you didn't mention that when I asked what was being investigated. Why you didn't mention grades being massaged was being investigated. Why not?
Because the investigation is, as I said, broad-ranging.
Okay,
and
you didn't think it was relevant to mention that?
And we are waiting for that report to be published.
You didn't think it was relevant to mention that?
Before we can comment further on the detailed findings of that investigation.
I didn't ask for the details, just asked what was being investigated, and you didn't think that was important enough to tell people that was being looked into?
It is part of a scope of the investigation, but as at this stage, there's been no report on this and no proof that this has occurred.
But there's an investigation taking place into the massaging of and you didn't think that was important to mention that?
There is an investigation taking place. When we know the details of that investigation, Ian, we will come back and.
Okay. I asked what was being investigated, and I would have thought that would have been one of the first things you mentioned. But obviously, you didn't think that was important. But in the meantime, while these investigations into grave massaging are taking place, you are delivering, as you say, high quality education.
Well, first of all, I don't agree that grade massaging is at this stage occurring.
No, I didn't say that, Stephen.
Had that.
It's being investigated.
I'm sorry. We are waiting that
it's being investigated.
Report to come back.
Of course.
During that time, we are continuing to provide high quality education to our children and young people and adults within the schools and academies.
So you say we've got a text here from a listener. I won't read their name out. I'm currently a Barnfield apprentice. I've finished my college course but need to be marked on my practical tasks. The man that has marked it for me is near redundancy, but you need someone at college to double-check his work for me to finish the course. The 3 people that could help at college already have redundancy and have left. I finished my practical tasks 3 to 4 months ago. I'm waiting every month for my certificate so I can complete my course and get my promised pay rise from my employer. High-quality education.
I think within individual areas we may need to sort of look and investigate that in. But as a rule, I think we are providing across the piece, both in the college and the academies, very high quality education. We have 2 of the highest performing academies in Luton, as I know you're aware. And they were 2 of the lowest performing schools 5 years ago. So I think we do have a track record of providing high quality education and training, and I think that's something we're very proud of.
This is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. We're talking to Stephen Hall, one of the Barnfield Federation's 2 interim CEOs. Luton MPs Gavin Shuker, Kelvin Hopkins raised a specific allegation passed to them on the condition the person remained anonymous of poor financial management at the college. They also raised concerns about extensive staff reorganisation, large-scale redundancies and a lack of joint working with the local authority. What's your reaction to that, Stephen?
Well, certainly since taking on the role with my colleague Helen Mayhew, we have worked very closely with our local authority colleagues in both Luton and Central Bedfordshire. We have a very good relationship with them. We have a good relationship with local employers, and that is continuing to develop. So I don't see that as being a clear picture of us and the Federation.
Okay, so you disagree with those 2 MPs, with Gavin Shuker and Kelvin Hopkins?
I do, yes.
You're proud of the way the academies have been handled. What do you think about Nadine Dorris raising in the House of Commons the failure to succeed with the academy at Fernwood and also the school in Dunstable, which they thought was going to be an academy under Barnfield? They bought their school uniforms, they're all set to go, and then Barnfield pulled out.
Well, let me first deal with the Fernwood position. I was the project lead on that particular project, and no one more so than myself was saddened by the fact we were not able to bring that school into the fold. Unfortunately, free schools, as I'm sure you're aware, Ian, are required to show demonstrable demand, and that the capital investment needed in them to set them up is appropriate. And unfortunately, after more detailed investigation with Department for Education colleagues, they took the view that it was not appropriate to take that school forward. So that, unfortunately, was outside of our control, but I understand the rationale for that. In terms of Brewers Hill, again, I think you will have seen our published statements on this point, but it has not. We have worked very hard with the Brewers Hill management team, and we have a very good relationship with them. But it was not. We were not able to come to an appropriate arrangement for the transfer of land with the local authority, and as such, unfortunately, we were not able to convert the school.
You've overstretched yourself, haven't you?
As I think you will know, refunded all.
That's not the point, though, Stephen. Stephen, I think you will know that's not the point, is it, for the parents of those children who thought they were going to be going to one place and it turns out they're not? That school could potentially wither and die, couldn't it, as a result of that?
Well, I have to say, long before we became involved, Ian, that school was under threat of closure.
So you gave them false hope?
We worked very hard with the school, and I know we have some very nice letters of support from the Chair of Governors and the head teacher at the school, thanking us for the support that we gave.
And how many from the parents?
Probably
not many.
From the head teacher and from the Chair of Governors, they
none
were
from the
involved
parents.
at the heart of what we were doing.
Well, the parents, I would suggest, are involved even more. You've outstretched yourself, haven't you? The Federation has grown to 8 academic institutions, possibly 9 by the end of the year. You've overstretched yourself, haven't you?
No, we don't think we have. We think we have the right level of management and financial support within our organisation. We have significant reserves. We are financially stable, and we look forward to taking our federation forward in the coming year.
Go back? Sorry, just one thing I forgot about Fernwood. Nadine Dorris is obviously is very upset. How much were you paid by the Department of Education to look into all of that?
There is a set tariff that is published by the Department for Education.
So how much were you paid?
Every free school that is set up in this model is paid a sum of about £20,000 to set the school up.
And you didn't set the school up?
And it unfortunately takes a huge amount of investment in time and.
Did you refund the £20,000?
Well, we worked with the Department for Education on establishing whether the school was able to be moved forward. Unfortunately, it was not.
Did you refund the £20,000?
But costs were still incurred to undertake that review with the department, and that was appropriately recovered from the department.
So it was just £20,000 you took from them, or did you take more?
We took £20,000 from the department.
You didn't take any other costs?
No.
And you didn't refund that £20,000?
No.
The Federation has been accused by local residents of wanting to sell off playing fields for profit in order to fund your expansion. Is that going to happen again?
We do not sell playing fields off for profit. We are a not-for-profit organisation.
You wanted to sell the playing fields at Barnfield, didn't you?
We are not a not-for-profit organisation. What we have been looking at, and I think quite rightly so, and I think you would challenge me if I didn't, we have been looking at our asset base to see how we need to reshape that asset base to ensure that we've got the facilities that we need for the next 10 to 15 years.
So you are looking at selling off playing fields? You are looking at selling off playing fields?
We have looked at a range of options
Stephen,
that we can look at.
Stephen, we're running out of time. Stop. So you are, and are you intending to sell off any playing fields?
We have no immediate plans at this stage, but we are looking at our asset base, as I clearly said earlier on, Ian, to ensure that we have a set of facilities, particularly at the college, that are fit for purpose for the next 10 to 15 years.
Any specific playing fields you're looking at selling off, or is it all of them?
I keep repeating to you. It is a range of aspects we're looking at.
You keep repeating, but you don't keep answering the question. Are you looking at all of the?
I think I am.
No, you're not. I'll ask the question again.
Your listeners would expect us to provide in Luton a high quality range of facilities and equipment. Of
course they would.
We have to look at our resources.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Both land based and buildings, to ensure we have the right resource to meet that need.
But that's not
what we are doing.
But that's not what I'm asking. I'll ask again. Which playing fields? I know you're looking at other things. Which playing fields are you looking at selling off? Is it specific ones, or is it all of the ones that you own?
We are and have been looking at a range of options, including options around the New Bedford Road site, which are in the public domain.
Any others?
And those are the primary options that we're looking at this stage.
Any others? Just the Bedford Road?
That's in the public domain, and we have been looking at that in combination with a range of other options that we can to improve our facilities in the college, to ensure that we have a fit for purpose building and facility for the next 10 to 15 years. That was
just to hammer this home. Maybe I'm being thick this morning. That one's in the public domain. Are there any other playing fields you're looking at selling off that aren't in the public domain?
We have no other plans currently on the stocks in terms of changing the base of our wider portfolio. That is correct.
So, Stephen, listen. When does the investigation finish? 5 to 6 weeks.
We think it's something between 4 and 6 weeks. That's
Fantastic. Can we get you on in 6 weeks' time to go through it?
I would be more than happy, Ian.
Stephen, I look forward to it. Thank you very much indeed. That's Stephen Hall, one of the Barnfield Federation's 2 interim CEOs. This is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. It's 8:30. Let's get the travel news now. Here's Bill.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, it's all rush hour traffic, really. No specific problems to report. The motorway is pretty busy, including the M1 London bound from the Tollington services. A40 just spotted this on the cameras, though. Long queues. This is heading eastbound from the Denham roundabout up to the Swakelids roundabout. Quite a busy morning for Lower High Street in Watford as well. The train's looking absolutely fine. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Bill. It's 8:30. News and sport now. Here's Lee.
Police say nearly 200 people have been scammed by a Milton Keynes-based company which claimed to sell top-price wine from France. Many customers handed over their life savings to Worldwide Wine Investments but got nothing in return. The National Union of Teachers has accused the Barnfield Federation in Luton of putting profit before its pupils. The finances of the education group, which runs a number of colleges and academies, and allegations of grade massaging are being investigated by the government. And Hertfordshire Police are appealing for witnesses to a crash near Letchworth on Tuesday morning, which left 2 men in a critical condition. The men were in a silver Ford Focus, which collided with a black Volvo on Norton Road. The weather will be dry today with sunny spells and light winds. Top temperatures around 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Manchester City is making an official complaint to UEFA after Yaya Toure was subjected to racist abuse during their Champions League win at CSKA Moscow. The midfielder pointed out what appeared to be monkey chants to the referee during the match. FIFA Vice President Jim Boyce wants to see action taken.
The Russian Federation have got to ensure, along with the Russian government, that these incidents are put to bed because it's happening too often. I hope that people in football now, with FIFA and UEFA saying and stating quite categorically that they will now take serious action, we have to give them the opportunity to do so, and then hopefully this will be eradicated from our society.
Well, City beat CSKA Moscow 2-1 in that match. Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, Manchester United beat Real Sociedad 1-0 to stay top of their group. In rugby, Chris Robshaw has been reinstated as England's captain again for their autumn international series at Twickenham. Robshaw was left out of the Lions squad in Australia and also watched as Tom Wood captained England to win their own series in Argentina. Head coach Stuart Lancaster says that Robshaw made the team on merit, but he must continue trying to prove himself.
I mean, he clearly has been the best number 7 in England, but we've got other players in his position who are playing well. And someone like Matt Kovacic played really well in Argentina. We've got Will Fraser, Luke Wallace, who are beginning to push hard now. You know, these lads, quite rightly, want to play for England, and Chris has got to earn the right to get in the team as everyone else. So more than happy with his form, and he's done well.
In tennis, Serena Williams has recorded her second victory of the week at the WTA Championships against Agnieszka Radwanska, but the world number 2 Victoria Azarenka has been beaten by Helena Jankovic. And the Shanghai Golf Masters has started this morning, where world number 6 Rory McIlroy and 4th-ranked Henrik Stenson head the field. Buckinghamshire's Luke Donald and Woburn's Ian Poulter also take part in the £18 million series. The BBC Three Counties News and Sport, more at 9 o'clock.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Jonathan Vernon Smith is the headphones are riding one ear like he's recording a charity single or something.
Well, only one of them works.
Of course. You're looking very, very smart. Let me just describe. You've got light slacks on, very crisp, clean white shirt, lovely blue blazer, and a mauve tie. You're wearing a tie. What's this all about? Special day today, isn't it?
It is a special day. This afternoon I'm attending the funeral of Mr. Tango Orlando. For regular listeners to the JVS show, you'll know that Mr. Tango Orlando is the cat that sadly passed away, and Fiona, she wanted to have him mounted. I mean, I guess the ordinary language we would say is stuffed.
Stuffed, yes.
But you don't really stuff an animal, you mount them.
Right, OK.
And when Mr. Tango passed away, she paid a taxidermist.
This is her cat, wasn't it?
Yes.
She's very close to.
Hundreds of pounds to have Mr. Tango mounted. And unfortunately, he took the money and didn't mount Mr. Tango Orlando. Well, we've finally, after about 2 years,
a long case,
managed to get Mr. Tango back. He's currently in Fiona's deep freeze. And this afternoon, Fiona she decided yesterday on the programme that enough is enough. It's time to say goodbye.
I missed it yesterday. I heard her last week when he posted Mr. Tango Orlando back, or so he just delivered it.
He just delivered, yeah.
And she was going to investigate whether she could get him mounted. I suspected after spending a couple of years in a freezer it would be unlikely, and that's...
I spoke to one of the country's best taxidermists of pets, and...
You know all the people.
He looked at the photos of Mr. Tango and he said, it doesn't look good.
Oh, dear.
And he said, my advice would be not to proceed. And Fiona, she's kind of accepted that. And
good for her.
So this afternoon, I'm going with her and we're going to lay Mr. Tango to rest. And I believe our intention is to bring you a kind of full overview of the funeral tomorrow on the JVS show.
And is it? Am I giving away by saying this that you've got a very special role today? Are you planting the spade?
Well, I'm going to help.
Yeah,
I don't want to interfere. I just want to kind of help in any way I can. I have a poem that I'm going to read as well, but.
Good for you.
We'll bring you all of that tomorrow.
As someone who we both have cats.
Yes.
And if my Velvet, when she passes, she's 14 now.
Yeah.
I'll be devastated.
They're members of the family.
Of course they are. More so than dogs, I think.
You reckon? I've never had a dog, so I don't know.
I think more so than dogs. Very special. Well done you for going, and I look forward to hearing that.
Thanks very much, and that's why I look so smart.
You look wonderful. What's coming up on the show?
Coming up on today's Big Phone-In at 9, I'm asking, is it time we gave children free vitamins every day?
Ooh.
The government's chief medical officer, Professor Dame Sally Davies, has said that all children under 4 should get free vitamins. 40% of English children don't get the vitamins they need, and GPs are reporting a reintroduction of rickets across the country.
Wow.
Child health statistics suggest the UK has fallen behind many other European countries. In fact, we now have one of the worst child mortality rates in Europe.
Gosh.
Well, is the reality that most parents find it simply too hard and time-consuming to cook fresh, nutritious meals every single day? And it's quite sensible, actually, in a time where everybody is so busy, to give children tablets to replace the vitamins they're missing out on. From 9 this morning, I want your views on this. Is it time we gave children free vitamins every day? 08459 455 555.
Giving free vitamins out is not a bad idea. I disagree with your point, though. It's hard to cook. But 5 minutes to boil some veg.
Yeah, but what about all the children that won't eat? I mean, there are loads of children, aren't there, who sit there and they just refuse to eat veg, no?
No, because they're not starting... They're introducing the veg too late. They should start from as soon as they can start eating solids. You give them veg.
Well, so there's no excuse for it?
I don't think there is an excuse. No? I don't think there is an excuse, no. No, I think if you educate them early enough, kids can eat anything.
Oh. Well, from 9, we'll see what everyone else thinks. Do you think it's time we gave children free vitamins every day, or do you agree with Iain that it's a dreadful idea?
I didn't quite say it was a...
Pretty much.
I didn't say that
Bad parents.
Oh, dear.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, we did a story recently that had... We did it, Jonathan picked it up and ran with it. It had some incredible audio that we're going to play in a second. Incredible story. 3 women and a baby in a car pulled over by Hertfordshire police. Well, the women made a formal complaint about the way they were treated. Sonia Muneri was a passenger in the car with her two aunts and her 4-month-old cousin when they were stopped by police in the early hours of last Thursday on the A10 in Cheshunt. The family claim they have no idea why they were stopped, and when one of them refused to get out of the car, police smashed a window and arrested her. Now, they should have been informed by the police by now about what's going on. Before we speak to Sonia, you can hear what happened when Sonia recorded some of the incident. The woman you're about to hear speaking is Sonia's aunt.
Explanation as to why I've been stopped. It's because I'm driving a car and I'm black. You've told me that cars get stolen. If I'd been white, you'd never have stopped me. And that's a fact, whether you want to accept it or not.
How do we know you're black?
You saw me. I actually saw you get into that roundabout.
How can we see you?
I saw you get into that roundabout. And you did see me.
Open the door right now.
No, I am not going to. I'm feeling threatened by you.
I hope you do.
I want to talk to somebody else who's reasonable. Go away. away. I don't want to talk to these two.
Talk to me.
Can they go away, please?
No, they're not going anywhere.
No, they must stand far away. I do not wish to
button
look at
needs
this.
to come out.
What is she bringing that button out for?
Because you're refusing to open the door.
Listen, I would like to speak to somebody else. These two have been very. I'm not happy with these two, and I'm a lawful citizen. I've not broken any laws. I am driving here. I told her my name already, and I've spelt it.
She's going to smash your window very quickly, and it's at your expense. Do you understand?
Why would you smash my window for?
Because you won't open the door.
Why do you want me to open the door when you're holding all these buttons and things like that? And like I'm saying to you, I feel very threatened.
You're a woman with a child. Why
I'm
would
a
you
woman
break
with a child,
a
and
window?
you're threatening me.
Right, get out the car now. Get out the car now.
Oh, that way.
Get out the car as well.
Come on, let's get
No, I'm coming out. Please
Right
don't
now.
do that.
Right
No.
now. Right now.
I'm just surprised.
Right now. Get out of the car now.
Oh, my days! Oh, my days! Guys, you don't have to do that! Please, go back to me!
Look at the mess you've made.
Right, can you jump out the car and go and stand on the pavement?
I haven't done anything.
I didn't say you did. Your friend's an idiot, you know that, don't you? You could have been driving away right now.
Well, that happened a while ago. Sonia joins on the line now. Good morning, Sonia. So you should have heard from the police by now. Have you heard anything?
Basically, they sent us a letter saying that the matter has been referred to the IPCC and that the Police Standards Division is dealing with the matter, but we don't really know. We don't really have a real answer as to how they're going to handle the situation.
So does it give you any length of time as to when that will take place?
No. We don't really know, kind of. It seems like it's going to take quite a while for the situation to be handled.
But it would seem that their own internal investigation has decided that they should hand it up to the IPCC, so that must give you some feeling that you're being listened to, at least.
Yeah, it does. It does give us some reassurance.
Do you trust the IPCC will look into this fairly?
Yeah, definitely. I do believe that.
Okay.
I pray. I hope it does.
Okay, so how are you feeling now, Sonia? You feeling a bit better about the whole situation?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, but hearing that audio kind of brought it all back. So it's I'm kind of trying to just get on with everything. So.
Well, Sonia, listen, would you mind if we stayed in touch with you and got updates on this? Because this story, I don't know if you listened to the station, that it kind of ran throughout the day.
Yeah.
When we had you on, people were very divided, and it got people talking. So we'd love to, pick this up as it goes along, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sonia, thank you very much for getting back. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. There we go.
Across FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Three Counties Radio.
Three Counties Radio.
You can have two little stings there for the price of one. I don't mind. I'm not shy. I don't worry about those kind of things. If you have a quick look at some of the other front pages of the newspapers, we didn't do them all. Hope you like babies. I hope you like babies. The Guardian. Oh, they've got a small picture of the baby. And Hayley Cropper is being killed off, I think. That's a shame. I liked her. Merkel's call to Obama. Are you bugging my phone? Germany sees credible evidence. The furore over the scale of American mass surveillance revealed by Edward Snowden shifted to a new level last night when Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, called Barack Obama, to demand explanations over reports that the US National Security Agency was monitoring her mobile phone. Why don't we just all accept that we're being monitored and bugged? Hey, listen, Angela Merkel, if they're bugging me, you can rest assured they're bugging you. You're the German Chancellor, for goodness sakes. Of course they want to know what you're up to. You hold the purse strings to Europe. I bet Obama, is that his name? Yes. I bet you're a window on his laptop. He just clicks a button and he can tune straight into Merkel FM. And it was interesting. Ministers approved reduction in checks on free schools. Oh, that's what Michael Gove looks like. I was thinking of someone else. Let's have a look at the Daily Express. There's a picture of a baby. And the worst storm for 26 years. Hang on, didn't we have that the other week? Met Office experts issue extreme weather warning. Britain is braced for a repeat of the devastating Great Storm of 1987. When's it happening? When's it happening? When's it happening? I want to stand outside and experience it. The Daily Mail, 15 pages of glorious pictures in our royal christening souvenir. Oh. Listen, well done to them and all of that. Great work. But really?
Yay, Prince George, christening day.
Yeah, that sums up the excitement felt throughout the country. And the son, Georgius. Oh, Prince is good as gold on big day. Gorgeous Prince George and he's a good-looking baby. Gorgeous Prince George had the nation cooing over him as he was christened yesterday. The nation was cooing? Really? Coo, ah, ooh. I don't know what that hand movement is, Catherine. It's not cooing, that's something else. The 3-month-old future king stayed on his best behaviour for only his second public outing. When's he going to start opening hospital wards? When's he going to start going out on his own? Kids are growing older much faster these days. I reckon by the time he's 6 months, he'll be out there shaking hands. Yeah, earning his keep, exactly. Last 15 minutes of the show. Give us a call about anything you want, to be honest. It's, I've run out of steam, but I need you to keep me going. 08459 455 555. BBC Three Counties Radio. Here's the travel now with Bill.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Got some news in for Stevenage. It's an accident. It's partially blocking the A602 on the eastbound section. It's just by the A1M at junction 8. It's on the eastern side of the roundabout. It's a car and a lorry, so could take a while for that to get back to normal. Helen, thank you for your update as well. Other than that, of course, it's Thursday morning rush hour in place, certainly for the motorways. M25 anti-clockwise, you're not going very fast, really, from Kings Langley at 20 right up to junction 16. Leighton Buzzard as well, let's give you a mention. Looking heavy on my CCTV cameras for Leston Road by the Hotcliffe Street roundabout. Dunstable, a busy morning, of course, for the High Street North. On the southbound section, trains are looking absolutely fine. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Bill. Lots of you, in regards to the Barnfield interview we did about 15 minutes ago, lots of you saying, well, hang on a second, Iain, you've missed a trick here. Why didn't you get Sir Peter Burkitt on, the gentleman who was in charge in the past? Trust me, we've tried. We were told he was too busy today. He has a day full of meetings. I wonder if he's got a day full of meetings tomorrow, or on Monday, or on Tuesday. We can keep asking, can't we? Of course we can. Right, it's 8:47 exactly. It's Thursday, the 24th of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The Barnfield Federation in Luton has been defending its educational record. The organisation, which runs colleges and academies, has been accused of poor financial management and grade massaging. The police say elderly people were conned out of their life savings by a company based in Milton Keynes, which pretended to sell expensive wine from France. Coming up, Justin Dealey said, all right, geez, tell you what, girls, get me some coughs, save me some time. What I'll do, give a bit of the end of the show. Wallop! We'll find out what that means after the weather with Elizabeth.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. Well, it's a chillier start to the morning today. Temperatures at the moment sort of hovering around 6-7 degrees really at the moment. And we do still have some mist and fog patches as well, so something to be aware of. But otherwise, it's a bright start. Lots of sunshine developing. It's going to be a pretty nice day with lighter winds than yesterday. And it will stay dry as well, so a little bit of a treat. Some very settled weather around today. Top temperatures up to 16 degrees, 61 in Fahrenheit. Now, overnight tonight, it's all change again. It will be dry for most of the night, but into tomorrow morning we'll start to see the cloud increase and the wind pick up as well, and it is going to turn wet and windy, of course, into tomorrow morning's rush hour. Some heavy persistent rain at times, but a mild night to come. Temperatures down to between 9 and 11 degrees, so very wet and windy to start the day tomorrow. That system clearing to leave us with some showers in the afternoon, but also plenty of bright spells. Still quite mild, temperatures up to 16 degrees or so. Over the course of the weekend there will be some wet and windy spells, looking particularly windy on Sunday. By the time we get to Monday, we might just have quite an intense storm actually, so I'm just going to advise you to keep an eye on the forecast and do check the BBC Weather website out as well. We'll keep you updated on any warnings that are issued. That's the forecast.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Every consumer problem has an unhappy customer.
They've actually deleted the main account instead of attaching my one to it.
We ordered it, and when we got home, we checked the measurements, and it just will not fit.
A company.
We've asked the council, but now they come up with a new excuse. It's not them. It's down to the highways. And he said, well, I'm sorry, that's your policy. Oh, well, maybe next time you'll learn not to open the box.
And me getting to the bottom of it all.
And they confirmed that they would return my excess and that my no claims bonus would not be affected.
The JVS show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems. Weekdays from 9, BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you'd like to give us a call in the last 10 minutes of the show. And can I just say, we have had lots of people getting in touch with us about various things, particularly the Barnfield story. If you are connected in any way or have any concerns or have worked for Barnfield, we've heard various rumours this morning. Do send me an email, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. Yes, I've mentioned that about Sir Peter. Yes, I've... Oh, they didn't call us back. We approached... Catherine, you come on and say this, because I'm not quite sure what this is. Go on, what's it?
Well, a number of people have said, why aren't we talking to Sir Peter Burkett? It's not through lack of trying, we can assure you, and we will continue to try. We were assured by his new workplace that we would get a call back. We waited, we didn't get a call back, so we decided to call again.
Yep.
We were then forwarded to his PA, who told us that he was in back-to-back meetings. And we sort of put it to them that there was a lot of serious allegations here, and we wanted to give him the right to reply. All she would say was, he is in back-to-back meetings. We're hoping he won't be in back-to-back meetings forever.
No, OK, we will keep suing that. Thank you very much, Catherine. And if you have, any knowledge in that and you'd like to contact me anonymously, then do send me an email, ian.lee, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. And it'll be nice to have a little chat. And also, if you want to get in touch about anything that we've talked about or anything you think we should be talking about. We've had some cracking stories the last couple of weeks that have come from you. Forget these muppets like Justin Dealey, who haven't got a clue what they're up to. Forget those sausages. Well, you are my reporters now, dear listener. Send me your emails, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk.
Morning, boss.
Didn't know you were there. I thought you were on fader 1, turns out you're on fader 3. Unlucky.
I'm your best friend.
Oh, don't say that. My life's going all right. What are you here for, Justin? I've got no idea what you want to talk about.
I'm outraged this morning again in the first hour of the programme today. You mouthing off about the Rolling Stones, saying the Rolling Stones have only had 3 decent songs.
Yes, I'll tell you what they are.
Go on.
Angie, when will your love come home? Right, that's one of them.
Yeah, cracking track, yeah.
It's a really good song. Stop me up, stop me up and stop me up, never stop. It's a good one.
Yep, take that, yep.
You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find. Just might find you're gonna get what you need.
3.
Yeah,
you're naming those 3.
Yeah.
19th Nervous Breakdown. What about I Can't Get No Satisfaction?
Oh,
what about Jumping Jack Flash?
Rubbish.
What about Fool to Cry?
Oh, for goodness... Daddy, I'm a fool to cry.
Mixed Emotions.
Oh, you're joking, aren't you?
No, of course I'm not joking.
You are having a laugh.
I thought you had good taste in music. What is your problem?
The Rolling Stones are lucky. They are lucky. That's all there is to it.
Can I just put this out right now? If you disagree with what this buffoon is saying, can you phone him right now? 08459 455 555. So, Ian, what I've done this morning...
By the way, the phones will not light up.
They will.
They won't. OK, go on.
OK. Trust. Well, I've been asking people this morning if they love the Stones and what their favourite Stones track is. Now, sadly, Ian, I'm furious about this because you have been proved right, actually. Here's what happened.
Don't like them. I don't like the Rolling Stones.
How can you not like the Rolling Stones?
I do not like them.
Do they make you sick?
Yep.
Do they disgust you?
Yep.
Do they outrage you?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got me blank.
Got me blank? When did that come out?
No, I'm blank. I'm blank now. I don't know. I can't remember which one. Should you not tell me blankety blank?
Blankety blank? We're talking TV shows.
No, you're not telling me blankety blank. Al Green. Al Green, I don't...
We're talking the Rolling Stones, not Al Green.
I don't want no Rolling Stones.
No, so I'm trying to do a survey, so please leave me alone.
Oh, right. I'm doing my own survey.
Good.
If you do my survey, I'll do yours.
No.
What's your favourite Rolling Stones song, though?
I don't like any of them.
Hey, Medic. Good morning. What's your favourite Rolling Stones track, sir?
Yes, good. Rolling Stones.
Do you like them?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Polish.
Are they big in Poland?
Yes.
Everyone loves those big rubbery lips in Poland.
I don't know.
Just say yes.
Yes.
I found somebody with some taste here. You like the Rolling Stones, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Fantastic band.
Yes, they are. Good band of the 60s.
What's your favourite Stones track?
I can't remember what it is. It's something I saw in a film in Vietnam.
Give me Shelter.
It could have been that one.
Yeah.
If I heard it, I'd know what it was, yeah.
You must have good taste in music. What's your favourite Rolling Stones song?
Satisfaction.
Have they made more than 3 decent records?
Definitely.
Iain Lee says they've only made 3 decent songs. Should that man be fired?
Definitely.
Somebody's wearing a Rolling Stones T-shirt. Madam, can I talk to you for a second? I'm from Iain Lee's show. We're talking...
I don't understand.
But you've got a Rolling Stones T-shirt on.
No.
Mandy, you look glamorous this morning. I presume that you've got great taste in music. The Rolling Stones, they are amazing, aren't they?
I don't like them, to be perfectly honest. Never had done, to be honest.
Can I take back my comments about you looking glamorous now?
You certainly can.
Ta-da. Jumping Jack Flash, it's a guess. You love the Stones, don't you?
Rubbish. No, got no time for them.
I beg your pardon?
No time.
They're legends.
I couldn't care less, am I?
You see, Justin, most people agree with me. And can I just say, the phones have not lit up with people defending the Stones.
Oh, come on, there's got to be somebody listening right now. In fact, there's got to be thousands of people listening right now who are going to phone the programme and say, do you know what, the Rolling Stones made more than 3 decent records. I don't know where you're getting this from, I really don't.
Not as many as they were 3 months ago. Dave's in Hemel. Dave,
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, you hate the Stones, don't you?
No, I think they're fantastic.
Why?
A little story.
Oh.
When I was 18...
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
When I was 18, we used to go on a Wednesday night. We used to go to the Trade Union Hall in Watford, and that was before they was big. They made an announcement the week before that the Rolling Stones would be here next week, and they just blew everybody away.
Wow,
well said.
That was the early days, you know.
Before they got silly.
Well, a little. Yeah, now, yeah.
Yeah, they got silly, didn't they?
It's very hard to pick a track out which was the best, though.
Because they're also bland.
They made so many good
bland ones.
So many good songwriters.
Yeah. Ian, listen to your audience. Listen to them.
All right, let's go. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Let's go to Peter in Wolverton. Morning, Peter.
Good morning, Ian.
Overrated, aren't they?
You've overstepped the mark this morning, brother.
Oh, why? What's happened?
The Rolling Stones are the greatest, and the track that one can equate to and look at to be the best ever is Sympathy for the Devil.
Oh, well said.
That is my least favourite.
It sums up what the world's going through today in song.
It sums up what the world's going through today in a tuneless dirge.
No, I can't agree with you, and probably half the world's population can't agree with you either.
Mm-hmm. Here.
Peter, you say I've crossed a line. Does this mean you're going to stop listening to BBC Three Counties Radio, or my show at least?
Good grief, no, man.
Oh. I need to go further, do I, to lose you? Peter, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much indeed. Carol's on the line. Carol, please back me up on this. The Stones are rubbish.
Oh, they are not. And my nephew, who now lives in America, travels to America, Paris, comes home to watch the Stones. And
How
when
sad.
Hollywood fell out of the tree, he'd already got tickets to go to San Francisco, and they went to see The Who instead.
Sit down. There's a band. The Who. I bet The Who blew them off stage, didn't they?
He said The Who were rubbish.
No, your son is a muppet.
No, he said they were rubbish. He said...
Carol, your son is a muppet.
It's my nephew, and he said Mick Jagger, from the time he comes on the stage, he said he keeps on going. He said he is fantastic, and he never gets fed up with singing.
Oh, Carol,
brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Carol, your nephew is deluded. Justin, listen, you've got 20 seconds. Big up your show on Saturday. What's happening?
And can I just say, first of all...
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1 Barnet bypass blocked northbound just before Stirling Corner. It means you're down to just one very narrow lane just before Stirling Corner. Long queues now all the way back from Ellesmere Avenue. And also Stevenage, you've got the A602 partially blocked eastbound by a lorry and a car. Really slow things down right now on the eastern side of the roundabout. Apart from that, long queue still for the A40. This is heading London bound. It's between the Denham roundabout and the Swakeleys roundabout. Leighton Buzzard having a busy morning on Leicester Road. They're still looking heavy on the CCTV cameras at the Hopkins Street roundabout. Trains looking absolutely fine. Bill Sheldrake, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Bill. Justin, that was cruel of me. Go on, you do a show on Saturday. What's happening this week?
Yeah, 9 till 12, UK and American charts from this weekend back in 1972, and Joe Brown picks his favourite musical memories.
Joe Brown is back on. Isn't he a nice bloke?
He is a nice bloke and an absolute legend.
Excellent stuff. Justin, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for being a good sport. Thank you to everyone who took part in the show today. Iain.lee at bbc.co.uk. Rush out and download the podcast. JVS is up next. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, from me, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Thursday, and on today's big phone-in, is it time we gave children